will see how conflict affects energy prices. More than ever, we need to be mindful of how we use energy. By reducing your use, you can save money and lessen the impact. Here's how. Use your timer and thermostat to heat your home and hot water to the temperature you need. Use appliances efficiently and, where possible, outside the peak hours of 4 to 7 p.m. Consider walking, cycling, or public transport for short journeys. Drive at lower speeds where safe to do so. Government advice and supports are available for homes and businesses to help you meet this challenge. Find out more at gov.ie/reduce your use. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Every bumpy road, every bit of weather, every school run, every moment of reflection, every...
It's rush hour on Friday. What did you expect?
little disagreement, every tight squeeze, everything about a Skoda is made for Ireland.
Hello, hello, hello. How are ye? Excuse me, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, Drew, you're coming in. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm not too late. Now let me see. Oh, ads, god damn it. I'm going to put on the screen in a second. Okay, now can you hear that video come in? I need to put on my earphones. Okay. Where's me chat? Here we go. I'll get rid of that for now. Hang on 2 seconds. Why can't I hear this? These aren't on. There we go. Okay. So this is telling me
he kind of either pushed or threw. It's hard to describe to you which of the.
Oh, there's music on in the background.
Johnny at one point slapped me in the face in our bedroom in the chateau that we were staying in. At another moment, he
this live, yeah?
punched me across the jaw.
No, this isn't. This is yesterday's. Sorry, I don't know what's happening.
Can I please have you
Here we go.
show the knife to Miss Heard?
Okay, so this is about the knife she bought him that says till death.
Yes, that's it.
Mitty's behind
That's the
me.
knife you gave to the man who was hitting you,
Anyone
right,
who's
Mr.
wondering.
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him, that's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Master Deputy Sheriff Lusa, will you please show the knife to the jury?
Ooh. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hope you can hear me. Hope it's all good.
Thank you.
Actually, I have a Red Bull here that's like not cold.
This is the knife
Plug
you
in a
gave
little
to
fridge.
the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in 2012, yes.
Alex
Now,
brought
Mr.
me
Hurd,
this
I'm
once
going
for
to
Christmas.
Need to talk to you about what happened in Australia in March of 2015. You testified
USB
that
powered
at some
fridge.
point during the incident you described, you witnessed Mr. Depp bashing the phone against a wall, right?
That is correct.
You testified that the phone was breaking into pieces.
I was watching it disappear.
And Mr. Depp smashed it, I think your word was smithereens.
Yes, that is correct.
And according to your testimony, this was a wall-mounted phone in the bar area.
That is correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 182.
Yes, Greg, happy anniversary.
I believe this has already been admitted into evidence, if we could have it published. Thank you.
Just need to tweet out that I'm live.
You saw this photo during your direct examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
But it's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
That's convenient. The pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture either, right?
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
Whoever took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace, correct?
Oof.
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
He did. Your counsel elicited it.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture.
Damn.
Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821,
I don't.
which is
Yes.
also admitted into evidence?
I don't get why they don't have more witnesses saying like there's so many they're not interviewing.
You also saw this picture
my
during
friend
your
just drove me
direct
nuts.
examination, correct?
That is correct.
And so this is the bar area to the right of the wall-mounted phone you just described.
If you were facing
That
that
looks like
direction,
a
if you're
wall-mounted
facing this
phone there.
direction, it would be behind you.
This phone on the counter isn't the phone that got smashed to smithereens, is it?
No, they brought that out during my testimony in the UK as well, and I said this in the UK trial as well, that is not the phone. Obviously, because that one's not smashed and it's not wall-mounted.
Yeah, so there are two phones in the bar area.
There was a wall-mounted phone. I don't know if it was decorative or what, but it was like it looked antique, large and antique.
And what the large and antique
Okay,
one that's
I've
not
tweeted out
depicted
that
in
I'm
any
live.
photograph, including ones you took, is the one that Mr. Depp damaged, correct?
That is correct. I only took pictures of the mirrors.
So there's no picture of that damaged phone.
I didn't take a picture of it, no.
Okay. So back to the
Ooh,
phone smashing.
Danielle,
You watched
Camille's
Mr.
outfit.
Depp smash the phone.
Let me see
right?
what Camille's outfit
That's
is.
correct. I watched it.
And you testified that you were, quote, watching the phone every single time he pulled his hand back, end quote.
Thank you,
That's
Greg.
correct. And according to you, this is when Mr.
Saying my
Depp
hair looks
lost
good.
the tip of his finger, right?
It is my best guess. I didn't notice his finger
Back in a sec.
come off, obviously. I was watching him smash the phone and watching the pieces break while he was doing it.
Well, it's not your best guess, Ms. Hurd.
That is my best guess, yes.
Okay, let's go back to my questions. You submitted a declaration under the penalty of perjury in this case. Do you remember that?
That is correct.
Okay, let's look at that declaration.
Oh my god, she's like, that's not your best guess. Amazing. Johnny's smiling. He's like,
Yes, ma'am.
you're for it now. There we go. It's a bit better. I enjoyed yesterday
direct
when
your
she was
attention,
talking
Ms.
with
Heard,
James
to
Corden
the
show. I was like, yes.
Page 14 of the Declaration.
Ow. I meant to start earlier so we could have a chat beforehand about yesterday, but
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
ran
And your
late.
signature appears right under the statement, quote, I declare under penalty of perjury.
Welcome,
under the
welcome,
laws
first
of the
time
state of
chat.
Virginia, that the foregoing is true and correct.
That is correct.
And this is dated April 10th, 2019.
Correct.
Now let's look at paragraph 16, which is on page 5.
She has like this amazing thing where she's caught out like testifying to something and then saying the opposite. She goes, oh, well, maybe I misspoke.
Specifically line 10.
Here's my little fridge.
Quote,
Ow!
right,
Ow,
testifying
got my
under
finger.
oath. While he was smashing the phone,
Those
John
new Red Bull
severely
flavors.
injured his finger, cutting off the top of it.
Welcome,
End
welcome,
quote. Did I read that correctly?
Kirk's
Yes, that's
imported
correct.
Caucasian male.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the
Yeah.
phone, he held you down in the
Chokers are
countertop by the
dangerous.
neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not quite sure of the exact sequence of things, but yes, both of those things happened.
Well, we'll get to the sequence. And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
On the countertop, he assaulted me.
So Mr. Depp was able to get you on the counter, right?
Oh, Jesus.
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he grabbed a bottle, according to you, while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking me?
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No,
Thank you
those
for
two things didn't
gifting.
happen at the exact same time, no.
Greg.
While he's holding the bottle, is that your testimony? While
was holding
holding you
my-
down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
I hate when she does that.
The
I
testimony
don't understand your
is this
question.
part,
Sorry,
that
can you ask that
either
again?
He has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he
At
assaulted
what
with?
point?
While holding you down by your neck.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
When he
I
puts you on
hate
the
the way she
counter,
doesn't answer the question.
does he
asked.
have the bottle in his hand? Yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates
Kirk's.
you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
Should I pause this so we can talk? We'll end up
This
behind
is the
though,
sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom.
because they're talking so
Smashed
quick.
the phone to smithereens, and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes? That's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms.
It was the
Heard,
worst thing ever
Ms.
happened
Heard,
to me. I
we're
don't
not
remember
Ms.
the
Heard,
exact
that's not
sequence.
my question.
Can I? Okay, so I'm going to pause it and talk because otherwise I'm just sitting here watching it. This 3-day thing apparently only appeared recently. So this thing where she's like, oh, I was basically held hostage for 3 days and like assaulted for 3 days straight, physically, emotionally, whatever else. Apparently that wasn't in the UK trial, and it wasn't in the deposition or the divorce. Greg, so the public opinion, I guess public opinion is kind of split, but I do think it's more in favor of Johnny Depp. I know that I've been watching this for a while now, and over the period of time I've been watching it, I've landed on Johnny Depp's side. I actually think that I obviously think that they both did a lot of drugs and stuff like that, but I do think that he was actually the victim of abuse and she accused him of abuse as an instrument of abuse, if that makes sense. And I don't think that somebody, because if the genders were reversed the way I was looking at it the last day we were talking about this, that I don't believe that if, say, there's a male abuser and a female victim, that I don't believe that the female victim engaging in violence, reactive violence, whether it be self-defense or whether it be reaction to the violence being perpetrated, I don't believe that also makes them an abuser. So the truly feminist thing then is to just apply the same logic to the gender roles being reversed. Because I've talked to a lot of people that are like, well, like, he's a man, he's probably stronger than her, so like he can't hit her back. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I agree with that. If someone is like, I also don't think I believe that he hit her, but if he did and did it in self-defense, I don't know. Sarah, I'm on Johnny's side, but I must say they're both giving the performance of their lives. I don't know if I agree with that either, because I don't think that Johnny is acting. I genuinely think that he just can't look at her, stuff like that. I also don't know if she's acting. Sorry, she is acting, I guess, but she's not very well. So when people are saying, oh, Amber's giving the performance of her life, I'm like, it's not a very good one. Thank you for gifting, Greg. I don't know where my alerts have gone. Move them up there. Okay. So sorry, yes, let's continue. I just want to go back a little bit and hear what she said here.
Claimed that I can remember the exact sequence.
Either he has the bottle before or after.
By the way, are
he's
you
holding it
guys
by
okay
the
with
neck on
the
counter.
levels? Can
Is
you
your
hear that?
testimony?
Welcome, Terra
He
Gamer.
held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he assaulted
At what
with?
point?
While holding you down by your neck.
When he...
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
Yeah, that's another thing, Danielle, pointing out that she does have prior DV, domestic violence, in her previous relationships, and all his exes like sing his praises. And also, I forgot to mention in the last stream, we mentioned her bringing up Kate Moss and the fact that maybe they could bring Kate Moss in as a witness now. But I found out through reading after that the Kate Moss, because I was like, that was another thing where I was like, there's a rumor about him pushing Kate Moss down the stairs. Like, there's no smoke without fire. Why is there no rumor about him being violent to somebody else? That rumor came from her. She alleged that. Not in the divorce, but in the UK trial, she alleged that for the first time. So that rumour came from her. I think it was UK trial. So not nobody else. Like, so, you know, Kate Moss was also, look, people can do drugs if they want. You know what I mean? And like, they can deal with that in their own time. And especially if they're rich, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But what I found interesting watching it over the last couple of days, or yesterday and then the week before, you know what I mean? What I found interesting watching it lately was that they're painting out Johnny to be like this drug addict, this drug abuser, this alcohol abuser. And then she's like casually up on the stand going, yeah, so I took MDMA and Quaaludes and cocaine, and yes, I had 2 bottles of wine that day as well. And it's like, it's totally fine when she does it. What? Like, they were both massively mad into their drugs, which is not, oh, I suppose it is illegal, actually. You know what I mean?
When he puts you on the counter, does he have the bottle in his hand? Yes or no?
As I have...
I don't think that Kate Moss being into drugs at any point would stop them from bringing her to the stand. Like, if you were to discount drug addled testimony, there wouldn't be any case, because all of these, this is another thing, both of them are so out of their bins. Like, how can they either of them remember anything that happened? But Kate Moss is like clean now and she's got it together, so I couldn't imagine why they wouldn't bring her. Like, all she has to do is say whether or not he pushed her down the stairs, realistically.
I've always said I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Oh!
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
8 to 10.
Let's talk about the sequence. This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these
Daily
things.
Streamer,
This
welcome.
a-
That is
a
exactly how I
multi-day
feel.
assault that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms.
It's
Heard,
the worst thing ever
Ms.
happened
Heard,
to me. I
we're
don't
not
remember
Ms.
the
Heard,
exact
that's not
sequence.
my question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault allegedly that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
That you now allege.
Let's talk about the sequence.
Because it wasn't. This has only come up, I think, in this trial. It was never mentioned in the divorce.
So you testified, actually. Yeah, I know. I just realized that.
I see Camilla's outfit, Danielle. I wouldn't be brave enough to wear all white. I'll give her that. But she looks good. Like, I just wouldn't. Not in a million years. I like how she wears her hair down, though, because I think that there's probably a lot of thought that goes into what you do with yourself in court. And, like, if you'll notice, Amber's wearing her hair up a lot.
Copy of day 16 in front of you.
Whereas Camilla's like,
day
this is my style,
16.
bitch.
Yes,
Deal with
court
it.
deposition.
Yes. No,
Not
the court
Bitch in
transcript
general. Bitch at the
from this
world.
trial.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I do.
Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on.
Oh my God, sorry, Dania, you just mentioned, and she receives no medical treatment or lack of medical treatment, such a convenience. Yeah, but yesterday, Camille kept going, and you haven't produced that to this courtroom. And she was like, I've produced everything to my lawyers. And it's like, yeah, but you haven't produced it in this thing? Because remember, there was like all these issues, they want to put sanctions on them because they haven't provided everything. And
Page.
oh, I was like, how can she sit, like, she sat there and she's like, I gave everything to my lawyers. It's not my job to give it to you.
4506.
Thank you for gifting subs, Greg. What are they reading now?
All right.
There? Okay. And the reason that we need to go through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me, yes.
Okay.
Oof.
So let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now.
Anyway.
Apologize. You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is correct.
Then, directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519, at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, I fucking
Sorry,
hate
I'm trying
you,"
to add something.
end quote, right?
Yes, he was screaming that, among other things.
And further down on page 4519, same page, lines 12 through 19, you talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, at some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing, end quote. Right?
I just remember the sound, yes.
But you remember, and you testified to this jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
He had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging, by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Heard, that you testified to this jury that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
Yeah, I don't like the way she looks at the jury each time either. So I'm just adding one
Then
more
on
thing here.
page
You're going to see.
4521,
Okay, I don't know if these
starting
things are
at
going to
line
work
3,
or not.
you
But let's
testified
find
to
out.
being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't fit. Sorry, I'm trying to edit this chat box. Oh, hydrate. Okay, I'll have to hydrate with the tea for now. I'm trying to add an alert box. Channel rewards alert. That's what I'm trying to add there. So it comes up on my screen when you redeem stuff. I stopped paying attention there for a second, so they are approaching for something.
Misheard to page 4521, starting at line 3. You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Portly Caucasian male, she is alleging that he penetrated her with a bottle, a broken bottle. And earlier, yesterday maybe, I think, Camille was like, so you said you were bleeding from your vagina and you have no medical records. She was like, I didn't seek medical attention. I didn't need it.
That is correct.
And then feeling pressure on your pubic bone like Mr. Depp was punching you. Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further down on page 4521 and on to 4522, you testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 1816. Which has already been admitted.
Oh,
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
why is
I
there
did.
double audio?
And you testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning.
Hara Turu, I am
correct.
watching live, but I'm pausing and talking,
This
so
was
I'm a
the
bit
morning
behind now.
after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you, right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape. Felt like that shape.
But you testified in this courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
And not in the course of the trial. I hadn't seen the photograph.
What?
You claim you had serious injuries after this alleged incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
Relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries. Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Sometimes. I mean, often. And certainly in the later part of our relationship, that was more normal than not. But if he's filming or something like that, of course, he's not going to have his own jewelry on.
Your testimony in this trial was quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings. Correct?
You need to put your microphone on, Miss.
And that was a testimony yesterday as well.
Objection, Your
From
Honor.
the UK one.
Improper impeachment. If she's going to ask her question, then she has to show where that was and then.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you. The testimony yesterday was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings. Right, Ms. Heard?
That's what I testified to, yes.
And he was wearing rings on every finger in
I
Australia.
hate the way she looks
correct?
at the jury every time.
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Heard. Your words are, I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger.
That is what I testified to.
Okay. And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And you testified that your forearms were cut
My forearms and my feet.
and your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Heard?
I didn't seek treatment.
And the day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day, along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning, so technically that last day.
Dr. David Kipper is Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But he
Yes.
was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you. He was your physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
All right, let's please pull up.
Like,
Remember
she's
giving
answering
testimony in this
questions.
case in a deposition,
Like,
Ms. Heard?
so he was your
Yes, I do. I've
doctor,
seen a
like.
couple.
Someone who's not your doctor doesn't see you. At least that's not. Here, you have to be
Please,
a patient, like.
Pull up the deposition transcript, day 2.
Why do
at
lads
589,
always tie their hair
line
back with
6
such
through 8.
boring hair ties?
May I approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, they're approaching. Time to talk. I don't really get what the approaching thing is. Like, she seemed to approach yesterday when Amber kept being like, I've given you all the pictures. And she's like, you haven't given this picture to the court. And she's like, yeah, well, I give it to my lawyer. And
Your Honor, we're going to play Ms. Heard's
they seem to
deposition
resolve it
for the
so
jury.
quickly.
Lines, day 2, page 540, lines 6 through 9.
Oh, God, they're playing back
We've
the
had
deposition
permission
from
to
this
publish it.
trial. I didn't know you'd
Excuse
do
me,
that.
I'm sorry, day 2, page 589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, if you could just give us a minute to get
Of
there.
course.
500 pages
I'm sorry, what were the lines?
from Money Day 2.
Page 589, lines 6 through 8.
It's going to be a nightmare for the jury to go back through all this shit.
589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have no objection, Your Honor.
And he was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
Oh, there's a deposition before
Debbie Lloyd also came to the house that day.
the court, is there?
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Yeah. Miss Lloyd is a nurse, correct?
That is correct.
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known
The
Mr.
word
Connolly
correct
for
has lost all
years at
meaning
that
to me.
point.
Yes, that's correct.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there.
I will
yes.
say that I wouldn't be able
And
to
the day you
remember
arrived
dates
back in
of
Los
things that
Angeles,
happened
you
years
saw
ago
Travis
either.
McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
Kirks, if
Saw
you
Miss
are in the
Filati's
chat
testimony in this case by video deposition, correct?
That is correct.
And you heard her testify.
and you
that she
know
saw
how
you
to
the day
add
you
a
arrived
channel
back from
points
Australia on
reward
March 9th,
alert.
2015.
I believe she testified
Let
that
me
she
know.
came to dinner where I was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
So she saw you that day.
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
Okay. And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
I'm not sure if that's what she testified to. I'd have to just see the records to know.
Oof.
You heard her testify according to her notes. She met with you privately on March 10th, 2015.
She met with me at some point upon my arrival, but I don't remember the exact date.
And when you were in Australia, Ms. Heard, you didn't take any pictures of the injuries you claim to have sustained, right?
I did not take any pictures, no.
But you did take 2 pictures.
Of the mirrors. I took 2 pictures of the bathroom mirrors. That was the master bathroom where I was.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 374, which is already in evidence. You took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is a mirror in the bathroom in Australia.
That's
Oh, it
correct.
goes double every now and again.
And this black paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
Yes, I only know that because there was blood as well as paint.
Gross.
So you took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his
I
fingers.
don't even know what that says.
Correct?
This was while I was packing when I was leaving.
That's a
when I
yes,
took
right,
the photo.
Ms. Heard?
That's what's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
Thanks,
didn't
Danielle.
capture yourself
That
in the
custom
mirror,
reward
did you?
thing, I think, is not.
don't
I've added
see
those,
myself in
but
the
I
mirror,
just
no.
can't get it to come up on screen
Let's
to
please
show
pull
me,
up
so I'm having
Defendant's
to
Exhibit
make sure I catch it
375.
in chat.
You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia.
That's correct.
This is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking a picture of the writing.
Let's talk about the writing on this mirror. So the writing in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
What?
And it's your testimony under oath that you did not write the red text that says, quote, "Call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe," end quote.
That's correct.
What? Why would he write
If you did
in
write that,
black
it
and
means
then
that your husband was walking around the
come
house
back
bleeding from his amputated finger,
and write
you're
again?
writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
Oh my God.
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
The red does look like lipstick, Danielle.
Let's please take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1830.
That's nuts. I never knew that she was claiming all that writing was him.
This picture is also
Like,
admitted.
having
into
two different pictures makes it worse then.
evidence. This is a picture of the same mirror, right?
That's
That
correct.
one looks photoshopped.
You didn't take this picture.
No, I did not.
This is the one that Ben King took.
And I don't see him in the mirror either.
I don't believe he claimed he had injuries, though. Is that right?
I did not hear Ben King talk about his injuries, no.
So you would agree, Ms. Heard, that the black text on the mirror says, quote, "She loves naked photos of herself. So modern, so hot."
I had not read that yet. I mean, before. But yeah, that's what it says.
But you were taking pictures of the text, but you had not read that before?
Oh,
I
it
haven't
does say
seen
that.
this. It didn't make sense to me at the time when I read it in person.
Okay. Again, Mr. Depp wrote that.
I don't know who else would have.
So, Ms. Heard, just to be clear, it's your testimony that Mr. Depp also wrote the message in red about Carly Simon saying it better, right?
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song "You're So Vain," right?
I was told that.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like a crazy conversation. It was on the walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was on cushions.
It's your testimony the crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the bloody messages I found.
And you would agree with me that in this photograph, the red text has been smudged with black paint, right?
Yes.
Let's please pull up, if we can, Defendant's Exhibit 375 again. The black smudge isn't in this picture that you took, right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp must have not liked his own message to himself.
I'm not quite sure what was happening when Ben took his photograph, no.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343, which is already in evidence, and play the portion from 1:57:21 through 1:58:54. It's a recording, Your Honor.
It's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me, to avoid
escape
working
the,
out. That's
to escape
the problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No.
Yeah.
There are rounds, man.
Yeah.
When it gets too
Leave an
fucking
argument.
hairy,
Absolutely.
the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't. Have
Welcome,
a
Charles.
solution
First time chat.
if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Here you come. I come out. Fight. Crazy. Escalated. I split again. I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock. Bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
This is what really happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
Oof.
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors and 2 bedrooms. Isn't
Johnny
that right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Miss Heard,
that
Miss
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Miss
that.
Heard, that's not my question. 5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on. That's what actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
I was there.
That's
I remember it. I knocked on 1 bathroom door. I came on the first night after he decided to take me.
Oh, you got there first
bag
to
of
ban
Indian
that
rice.
chat.
Miss
I
Heard,
went to check
Miss
on-
Heard,
Greg,
I'm
thank
gonna
you so
move
much.
to strike everything after I knocked on 1 bathroom
She
door.
can't do that. She's answering the question.
Not quite, so I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
The recording we just listened to, that's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger.
Good shout,
after he
Daily
threw a
Streamer. I
bottle
will
at
do
him.
that.
Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia, isn't that right?
Oh my
Miss
God,
Heard?
Water
I
Dragon.
didn't
Thank
assault
you.
Johnny in Australia, I didn't assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after
10 tier subs. Thank you
had
so
to hide
much.
from you, right?
That is
5
incorrect.
bathrooms, 2 bedrooms,
That is incorrect.
and you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
What has the attention
No,
of the people behind
he
her?
was, avoiding
What has the attention of the people behind her?
agreeing to not fight.
What's happening? What's happening over the left hand side of the
You
courtroom?
weren't scared of him at all, were you?
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't
Water Dragon
scared of him
77
at
gifted
all,
you
were
subs.
He's
Suzeke,
a man who
welcome.
tried
First time chat.
to kill me. Of course it's scary. He's also my husband.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do not believe these have been admitted into evidence.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have them.
If we can scroll down, please. No.
Ms. Bretterhoff, if you don't have your microphone on, I cannot hear you.
Oh my God, she's had to say that a million
don't have
fucking
it.
times.
Redacted. Oh. I need to take a look at the unredacted for a minute, Your Honor. Just bear with me.
All right.
I'm not admitting it into evidence yet. I would like to just
Okay, you
talk
can
to the
ask
witness
the
about it
question.
if I
Go ahead.
could. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371.
Yeah,
Do you
Danielle, I'm really
recognize these
hoping
text
she's
messages
going to get
between
annoyed.
you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
He was my therapist that was recommended to me from Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
And you had been seeing him for almost a year in March of 2015?
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
Your text messages are in gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back and forth if she wants to talk
Absolutely.
about
All right, we'll
moving
pull that up.
unredacted
Sure.
later.
Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Pull it up.
Seeing these unredacted messages, does this refresh your recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, where is this going? I don't know what
Doctor,
this is
your
about.
text messages are in gray, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
You see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.?
Yes, that's correct.
March 8th is the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That
That
tea's
is
cold
correct.
now.
So on March 8th, 2015, you were in Australia,
That is correct.
and Mr. Depp's finger had just been cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Heard?
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny, and I knew I needed to change that. I knew it was, at this point, horrible for me. And I
I'm gonna
talked to
move
my
to
therapist
admit
often about that.
Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted with just Ms. Heard's messages.
All right.
Your Honor, I object because she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Heard that clarify even further, and I also think
Ms.
that Dr.
Bredehoff,
Cowan's.
Your Honor, may we please
let's go.
approach?
Oh. There was something yesterday where she was like, "This is really inappropriate." And I was like, "Ooh, what is it?" I'm trying to update my alert box. Sorry. I'm so bad with the actual like, what would this be? Alert box new. With Streamlabs. I'm going to try and, Streamlabs. I'm going to try and switch over to OBS. Not that I think I'll be any better at OBS, in fairness, but you never know. Okay, that's, I don't know if the new alert box is working or not. Anyway, we'll find out. Greetings all. Most of the time in these cases, the attorneys are attempting to catch the witness in a lie. Yeah, that does seem to be what she's trying to do. Like, but it's the interesting thing is that she's, the way she's wording it is like, oh, maybe I misremembered. Oh, maybe I misspoke. Oh, I never said it happened in that order. Like, she's been coached anyway. She's ready. She's not tripping up, I think, as much as I would if I was being barraged like that. Still, look at them giving out.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted.
All right, 371 in evidence as redacted, over objection. Yes, ma'am.
If you can publish that to the jury, thank you. So you write, Ms. Heard, to Dr. Cowan, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change. Right?
And I said I clearly can't figure this out, meaning the relationship.
You didn't say that. You
I
said
did.
not the relationship. Your text messages. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
What I was saying to him
No,
is
Ms.
clearly I
Hurd,
can't
Ms.
figure
Hurd,
this
Ms.
out.
Hurd,
as in
that's
the
not my question.
relationship.
The text. Just the text.
That's exactly what I was saying.
What you texted. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
That's what
right.
I was saying.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Hurd, do you contend?
Your Honor, just for clarification, so those two next lines did come in?
They are in the redacted
Okay,
copy.
good. All right, thank you.
Ms. Hurd, do you contend that there's another incident of abuse in March of 2015 after you and Mr. Depp returned from Australia? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this incident took place on March 23rd, 2015?
That's correct.
And this supposedly occurred in the penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building?
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me, yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
Mr. Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior.
That is correct.
And he had a pin in his finger, true?
I don't recall when the pin was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time, so I don't remember what happened and when
One of those
exactly.
procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger too, right?
At some point, I knew he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage, right?
It was casted.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was able to attack both you and your sister with his hand in that state, right?
That is correct. He had a hard plaster cast on it.
Debbie Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at
Right,
Ms. Lloyd
sorry.
on you.
Yes.
Red
that's
Bull
correct.
can.
And you put in a sworn statement to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Hurd?
I've had several, yes.
Yeah, so you know what it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
You're aware that Ms. Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
That is true.
And Ms. Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
Okay, sorry, I made the mistake of checking my WhatsApp and then I had to mark everything. And then, like, I accidentally opened a chat that I needed to read. And then I was like, no, now it's going to say I read it and I didn't read it. No. Oh, well. All right, catching up on chat. Daily streamer, I prefer OBS myself, easier to integrate new things. I would agree to disagree on that, in that I found OBS very confusing. And that's the reason I started using Streamlabs, is just because I found the UI a little easier. However, I do understand that OBS like works with way more stuff, and like
So
the
in a
not
deposition, Ms. Hurd,
higher than basic stuff is
you know it's
really
when
difficult to
someone
do in
provides testimony under
Streamlabs.
oath,
So
right?
I'm moving.
That's
I am
correct.
moving.
And
I
you're
have
aware
a
that Ms.
video
Lloyd was
queued
deposed in connection with
to
this
watch
case.
on how to move.
That's correct.
And Ms. Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial.
Yes.
So you heard Ms. Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember.
It's interesting
I
that she either
vaguely
didn't
said she didn't
hear
recall anything.
or doesn't remember any testimony and doesn't agree with her. And
So it's your
also,
testimony that
she
Ms.
knows
Lloyd would
that
forget that Mr. Depp, a
she
very
has
famous patient of
all
hers,
this stuff
threw a
written
can
in
of
front
Red
of her.
Bull that nearly missed her.
she's
according
like,
to her
I think
version
actually
of
she said that
events.
she couldn't remember what happened.
To be
And
fair,
the lawyer's like, are you kidding me? Like, I have it written in front of me.
just don't remember if she said when she testified that she didn't recall that incident or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall.
There was
much
something
at all.
that I wanted to do on Twitch. Yeah, there's like, I want to
Recalled
get
She
to
testified in this courtroom. that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull.
25 people chatting at the same
That was her
time
testimony,
is what
wasn't
I
it?
want. It's
don't
like
recall
my
what her
next
testimony was with regards to
goal
that one
that has
incident, no.
that they have me
You
down
actually
on
filed a
Twitch.
complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
Yeah, 25 people.
No,
If I get
I
25 people
don't
chatting
believe
at the
I
same
Are you
time,
aware
we'll
that
unlock
someone filed
additional
a complaint
VIP
against Miss
badges.
Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
Your
Ooh,
testimony under oath, that wasn't you?
That is my testimony.
I'm gonna have to
didn't
go
even know
back.
about
I didn't hear
No.
that.
I don't recall what her testimony was with regards to that one incident, no.
You actually filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
What?
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath, that wasn't you?
That is my testimony.
Oh
I
my
didn't
God!
even know about
Please,
that until now.
please tell me she has a signed thing from her.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard
That
in
is
his
to get more
testimony that it was
VIPs daily,
actually
yeah.
you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister, specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
That was the one.
It's your
The
testimony
first
under
time
oath. You threw nothing at Mr.
I ever
Depp.
landed a blow.
Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny,
No,
to
no.
be clear,
Not
but not
thrown
that
things.
occasion.
That evening.
Not on that occasion.
So it's your testimony, Mr. McGivern. Imagine that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level down towards where Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Yes, the
Well, he
Daily
certainly
Streamer.
wasn't gonna say
That
about
is
his
the
client.
the accusation flying around is that she has also abused her sister. I don't really understand why her sister's not testifying though. Either
Sir,
way,
you and
like
Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other
kept
messages
a
in that
journal
right?
together. Oh, make
is
it
true.
stop. Fucking hell! What is with these like Hollywood
could
couples
please
doing
pull up-
stupid bullshit like drinking each other's blood and writing a
Plaintiff's
joint
Exhibit
diary?
91. I'm only going to be showing
Welcome,
you certain
IDMAS
portions of
25.
this, so if we could please call this Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A.
Do you know a YouTube video got recommended to me this morning, which was like, judge stops the case to check what's in Amber Heard's drink, and I had a picture of her drinking this pink shit, and I clicked on it like an idiot, and it had nothing to do with that, and I was like, that's annoying. That clickbait's annoying.
This is the journal that you and Mr. Depp kept with each other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
That is
And if you,
just
we could scroll through, these are all entries that you made in the journal,
most
correct?
Tumblr of relationships. Is anybody going to read it out loud, or
Is it done? Yes.
we missed all the
I'm going to move for the admission
Comments
of
about the
Plaintiff's
broken
Exhibit
nose.
91A, and I've gone ahead and
But
redacted Mr.
FYI,
Depp's
this is me head
writings
on.
as
This is
on
someone
your
who's broken their
statements.
nose.
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
It's very crooked. Now this relationship is only on 4chan. Oh shit, am I not supposed to mention 4chan? Is that still a thing? Oops. Welcome, JS. What's happening? Are they approaching again? Do 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 do. I have a nice crooked nose, thanks, Greg. It adds charm, adds character. What's the thing? See that? See that? Fuck. Adds character. Is that from The Castle? Is that what it's called, the film? See that? Fuck. Adds character. What is happening here? I have so many cups of tea on my desk, it's actually disgusting. There's 3 of them. Ah, come on. What's the issue? What is a hold up? Big time walk of shame time, Greg.
Let's start
I
with the
have
first
at
page. It's the
least
picture.
there's 3 here, and I think
It's
there's
the picture.
one over there.
Giving me the pages yet.
Writing them down.
Sorry, Judy. Let's write them down first.
Do you know something that struck me yesterday thinking about this? This trial is being like totally run by women,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, right.
which is just
You
cool.
could please publish this to the jury.
The two main, well, I suppose I don't know who's the main lawyer in for Amber Heard, but Camille, the judge.
This is a picture.
Amber has
that's
a
on
female
the inside
lawyer.
cover of the Love Notebook, correct?
That's correct.
That's a nice picture.
This
Now,
is a picture of you and Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
Actually, doesn't look
You're
like
in
her.
Australia in this picture, aren't you?
Yes, but that's much later once we returned.
You can see that Mr. Depp's right hand is bandaged, right?
Yes, that's correct. That was after it had recovered significantly. That's not what it looked like during the incident we were just talking about.
What?
So this is a picture after the events in Australia in March of 2015, correct?
Yeah, yes, that photograph was taken months later.
We can have
Months?
the jury look at that photograph again, please.
Later? Months later. You wouldn't still be in a bandage, would you? Or maybe you would. Sure, you just get sewn back on.
Let's now turn to page 3. This is a note you wrote in the journal to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is very
That's
fancy
what it looks like,
writing.
yes.
This is actually the first note you wrote to him in this journal.
I don't remember what the first note was.
The date on this note is May 22nd, 2015, correct?
That is correct. That was during our honeymoon period.
This is just a little bit over 2 months after the events in Australia in March of 2015,
What?
right?
That's correct. We were back in a honeymoon phase. That was the period of sobriety I spoke about yesterday.
Back in a
Mr.
honeymoon
Depp,
phase after he cut his
Mr.
finger
Depp
off.
had allegedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was after the
Oh, yeah.
stairs and
Forgot
it was
about
after
that.
the Australia incident, yes.
And
And he
it's
got clean.
back
and
in a
sober when we
honeymoon
went back to
phase.
Australia.
It's also 2 months after you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney, and I had heard a rumor, a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
This first
Uh-oh.
message to
Why
Mr.
is she
Depp
bringing
in
up
your
Kate
journal, you write,
Moss?
quote, "True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both.
No, it
Falling
isn't.
madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most. That I have seen in you the true bones of
Welcome
friendship
to Words Sin.
and respect. But of course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not. XX Slim."
Yes, it's a love note.
Did I read that
Gross.
correctly?
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's correct.
Mr. I'm now going to ask you to take a look at the very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th.
Okay, just before we move on to the last entry, can we just... Oh, that's what's happened. Hang on, I'll fix this alert box. What the hell is like wrong with... Sorry, hopefully that alert box works now. But what the hell is wrong with celebrities? Why can't they be in love normally? Why do they have to drink each other's blood and write notes to each other saying that they want to rip each other apart and devour each other and savor the taste? Can they not just say, love you? You know? Why can't they be normal? Thank you. Sorry, welcome to World Sin 1. And welcome Ushin MUFC, new chatters. Team Johnny Amber should be locked up. Spoiler alert, it's because celebrities become famous through acting, which requires personalities that oftentimes have untreated personality or mood disorders. That is interesting. That is interesting.
That would be April 8th, 2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there, and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would
Thank
be a
you for
couple weeks
gifting,
before your
Greg.
birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following.
I can't read that, so I'm going to need you to read it out, Camille. I
I'm
can't read
sorry
that
I can
writing.
get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt.
Oof.
When I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing. Felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here. And was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I am so sorry for my part. None of this is meant to be an excuse for hurting you, because the truth is, nothing is. There is never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim.
I hate the way they call
Did I
you
read that
Steve and
correctly?
Slim.
That's correct.
It's so odd. It's really strange. Or like, is Steve his real name or something? Like, is there a normal solution for that?
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 423, which is already in evidence.
Greg, clearly you haven't redeemed my hydrate. Yeah, I'm going to have to go get water, actually.
This is a picture of you with what appears to
But I'll
be
tell you what,
straight
I'll redeem
red
it
marks
first
on your
with
arms,
some Red
correct?
Bull.
Those are scars from the broken
And then I'm
glass.
definitely
And
going to
they're
need to get
straight
some water.
and red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize
I can't
that,
get the channel pointer
but
word
they
to come
are
up on
red,
the
yes.
screen.
And
It's
they're on
very
your left arm?
frustrating.
Yes, that's correct.
Sir, do you have a history of cutting
No,
yourself?
no. Don't be sorry. I will. You're right. I should have
Cut
some
your
water
arm
by
once
my
as a
side.
teenager, isn't that right?
No,
need to go
said
get
I
it.
wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy, and I said I felt suicidal.
So it's your testimony under oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
Ms. Heard, we heard some testimony from you yesterday about a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
That was when you and Mr. Depp
God,
went on your honeymoon
sorry.
trip,
This is so
correct?
fucking nice.
That's
It's the new Red Bull flavor.
that was
Not
in July
sponsored. Absolutely.
2015?
Oh my God.
Yes, that sounds right.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence. You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Heard, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this
is
picture.
Okay, Ms. Heard,
I've seen
I
this
got the
picture
answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You
he's
disagree?
not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture. That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is Photoshop.
Ms. Heard,
Photoshopped.
answer. Thank you. This is the only photograph from our honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A at page 46, going back to the Love Journal. This is a note from you to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
This is a note you wrote on July 22nd, 2015.
That is correct.
And it starts off with the words, "My husband, happy honeymoon," right?
That's correct.
Ms. Heard, please take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A at page 67.
Yeah. She is saying photoshopped as if experts can't expose it as photoshopped. And she's also
This is
like,
another note
they
from
refuse
you
to give over
to Mr. Depp in your
photographs
journal,
to
right?
be
That is correct.
And this
analyzed,
one was dated August 1st, 2015.
digitally analyzed or whatever.
That's correct.
And you
So-
write, "That's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary, magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't have imagined a more gorgeous honeymoon. I love you more and more every passing day.
Love bombing.
Slim.
With the
Did I read
flowery
that right?
language.
That is correct.
That's what Dr. Curry said about the histrionic
Take a
personality
look
disorder,
at
the
the
flowery
journal entry
language.
starting on page 68.
Also, why is her writing so different?
This
in
is
those
another
two
entry
entries?
from you writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
That is correct, yes.
And this one
Thank
is a
you for
longer
gifting,
one, so
Greg.
Let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal.
I can't read that. I'm going to just read it out, Camille. Excuse me.
And you write, quote, I hope that things said in anger and pain were just that, and that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband. XX Slim.
That is correct.
Actually says sad, crossed
And
out.
sad,
Slim.
the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on page 89.
Sarah, thank you for that context. That's it's a bit weird, but at least I have the
This one's-
context of why
This is another note
their
from you to Mr. Depp.
nicknames
That is
are
correct.
apparently
The whole
from
book is love notes.
two
So this is dated
characters with a
August
similar
15th,
age difference in a
correct?
movie.
That is correct.
And here you write, quote, my love, why do we fight? Ever?
There are
Why?
25 people watching
I love
now.
you
If
more
everybody
than
could say
anything
hi in the
else.
chat, we could
Are we
unlock
that
some more VIP
uncomfortable with
badges.
being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else?
Do I count as a
don't
chatter?
know.
Can I say
But I'm
hi in
sure
the
of one
chat?
thing, and if it's that I can't imagine living, that I can't imagine my life without you.
Yes.
I love
Kings
you.
and
I will do
queens and
better.
non-binary
I'm sorry.
royalties.
X Slim. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Why do we
Your
fight?
testimony.
I
This was a
love you more
journal.
than anything.
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
Seems to be like.
Apology notes from you.
And apology notes. Oh,
the book was more of a love note.
Welcome,
book,
Bakara.
and part of that communication, obviously, since we fought so much, it was important for me to,
apologize.
try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
And it was also an opportunity for you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90.
Yeah, Saladin. That's an interesting observation.
Here you write, quote,
But she
"I'm
does say
sorry
things
I
like,
shook the wheel
"Are you
so
sorry for what
hard.
you did?" Blah
I'm
blah
sorry
blah.
you've tested the shocks and breaks to this point. God damn, I love you, Johnny. I love you. I am tied to you forever. You know that? So I'm tasked with making this work for that reason and many others, of which there are many.
God, it'd be so
Let me try
cringe
to
if
fix
somebody
this.
ever read out my diary
try to
in
patch this.
court.
Let me try to
I'd
make
actually,
your heart
I'd
better.
settle.
You deserve it.
I'd
Hell,
settle to avoid
maybe
it. I'd
even
be like,
I do.
yeah,
I need you.
no,
We need each other.
I'm not. You're
You're
not
my
reading out my diary in
cornerstone,
court.
My heart, my all. You are my life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you. Slim. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix it.
Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing. I tried reading.
She's
I
very
tried
clever.
Therapists. I tried
'Cause
everything to fix
But
it.
yet you couldn't change like you told
Victims
Dr.
would
Cowan, right?
apologize
I couldn't change my
when they're
relationship.
not in the wrong. But also abusers blame the other person. So when she says,
talk
"I
about
hope
December
you,"
15th,
did you mean what you
2015
did?
again.
You can turn that around and be like, even it could be like the abuser blaming the victim, or it
Aaron
could be
Filati, your personal
her
nurse, saw you
referencing
2 days
what he was
after the
doing.
incident on December 15th, 2015.
Smart. She's
Isn't
kind of
that
smart.
right?
She did not see me as in a medical visit. She just dropped off meds. in the late at night.
She
Oh,
saw
Greg,
me
my diary is much
personally.
worse than that.
She physically saw me but did not see me in a
That's the
medical
problem.
sense, the way
It's
a
like,
doctor might see a
Alex,
patient.
give out
She
to me
did
again
not
about
see
the
me in that way.
dishwasher. Fuck him.
She was your personal nurse,
Fed
right?
up with this shit.
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her.
It's all the minor
John did.
stuff.
She was assigned to you.
My tantrums
so
go
when
into
she
my
would see
diary,
you,
basically.
It would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as like a medical professional would, and then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
You testified that during the incident on December 15, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence. If we could please have that published to the jury. Thank you. Ms. Hurd, this is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket knife on the bed there?
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Oh.
Did you use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me. I could feel him slipping.
Mr. You also testified that there was blood all over the pillows on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes. That's correct.
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
I did not take a picture of this.
About a week after the December 15th, 2015 incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct? To celebrate Christmas?
Speaking of the Bahamas, I loved yesterday when she was like, this is a picture from passed out. And she was like, this is a picture
It was on the 15th
of him
and we
asleep
went on
in a
the
chair on
20th.
vacation. Is that correct? It's like the way you frame things just totally
While you were
changes
there, you did a
context.
photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99. This is a photograph of you on Mr. Depp's island shortly after
you guys
December
hear
15, 2015,
Is this
correct?
thing okay, by the way?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip,
It was taken on the island.
on that trip,
Yes,
weeks later.
weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd? That's your
It's
testimony?
my recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection?
All right, 99, we can publish.
Bit random.
Can we please have a zoom in to Ms. Hurd's face? Thank you, Tom.
Surely there's a better photo out there somewhere. Oh, it's a pretty good photo, actually. Her face is not injured.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 100. I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 100 in evidence, you can publish.
Excuse me.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier, and this is several weeks later.
Right. If we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom.
She keeps saying it's
Let's please
weeks
pull up Plaintiff's
later.
Exhibit 101.
But I don't think that's what Camille was getting at. Like, what would be the point if it was weeks later?
And I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
Can we just have the foundation?
Why are none of them drinking
This is
normal
a
water?
picture from the photo shoot, Ms. Hurd.
Well, actually,
It was taken
his
on the
lawyer
island.
behind is.
This is the same photo shoot, yes.
But he's drinking
objection.
orange
All right,
water
101
and she's drinking pink water. To be fair, she looks like shit there. Sorry, but she does. I don't think she looks injured, but she doesn't look very good.
If we could please zoom in, excuse me, Tom, on Ms. Hurd's face. It's your testimony, Ms. Hurd, that you were wearing makeup for this photo shoot?
She wasn't.
That is correct. It's a
She's
photo
not
shoot.
wearing fucking makeup there. She's clearly not. She's got bags under her
Pull
eyes
up Exhibit 102.
and no mascara on. You don't wear makeup with no mascara. Like,
Ms. Heard, is this another picture from the photo shoot?
I can't exactly tell from the background. It looks like the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being zoomed out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is a picture of me, yes.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help. But I'm not going to object. I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
No objection.
Okay, there we go. 102 in evidence. You can publish.
it's obviously the same photo shoot. You have the same hair and the same
Let's
dress
pull up
on.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
Also, how do you not remember, like, photographs of yourself?
Ms. Heard, this is yet another picture of you from that Greg Williams photo shoot, correct?
That is correct. This is from the same shoot.
Oh, now you
Move to
suddenly
admit and
know.
Publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence. Publish.
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face.
She looks better there now. But she still doesn't have any makeup on. There's no mascara on.
And finally, if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104. And Ms. Heard, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Again, this is the same photo shoot.
Although then
weeks
again,
later.
she is clearly wearing makeup
I'm going to
now
move to admit
to
and
look
publish.
like she isn't wearing makeup,
objection,
if that
All right,
makes sense.
104 in evidence. Thank you.
Because she's clearly wearing highlighter and contour, but she's not wearing any mascara. Or at least it looks like she isn't.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face.
I thought she was going to zoom in on her leg there. The face is not helpful.
Thank you, Tom. You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
And this all started because you perceived Mr. Depp as nodding off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
Nodding off.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
Right. You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's
And
correct.
also, I see the two of you have
And you
redeemed.
admit
Oh my
you
god,
threw
where's that
something
gone?
at him, right?
I see the two of
I
you
did
redeemed
throw something
hydrate and I have no
to
water.
get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Heard?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome drops the
Heard her
bait.
testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015.
Sorry, I do need to go
right?
to the toilet, but I just want to hear the end of this segment.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She
I hate the way she answers these
misrepresented it to
questions.
seem like that,
Like
yes.
you fucking heard
She
it or you didn't. You don't have to agree with it.
How convenient.
That's correct.
I'm not
Okay,
sure
and
if
then you
that's
kept
what she said.
apologizing
Yes,
to
it
Mr.
was.
Depp, right? That's what.
Thank you
No,
for
that's
gifting
not.
subs, Greg.
Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling at him.
We were screaming, both of us, but I don't know what she would have heard.
And that she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct?
Let me turn
In
down
the
my
UK?
lights a bit.
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do in that.
And in response to
case.
previous filings, correct? Including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is.
Note how she keeps
counsel
eye contact with the
asks
lawyer,
you
but as
to
soon as she answers,
respond
she looks
to
at the
things
jury.
and
Yeah, I
put
think
in a
that's weird.
declaration of sorts, and that happens back and forth over the course of preparing to go to trial in that country, and that's what I did.
So that was your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment on Tara Roberts' testimony.
I'll remind you. If we could have Ms. Heard's fifth witness statement from the
God, they must have so many fucking documents. It must be so annoying. Like, and this is only the time that they're in court. Jesus, like, there must be so much work outside of... Because they're in court from, like... Is it 9 to 3 or something? Like, 5? I don't know how long the court thing is. But, like, they must be working around the clock outside of that. You'd want to be somebody who is, like, a big fan of the work side of the work-life balance. That's not me.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 6 of your fifth witness statement. It's here that you describe the December 2015 incident, correct?
Even getting ready your documents for the next day would be like a full-time job.
Statement. I just don't know if I had commented on it before. In a previous witness statement, as I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if I'd describe it in full in this statement.
Okay. I'm going to show you your confidential schedule to the fifth witness statement that accompanied the fifth witness statement in the UK. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
In the confidential schedule to your fifth witness statement, paragraph 1 on page 21, you describe Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in the Bahamas of December 2015, right?
That is correct.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
You only submitted the confidential schedule in the UK, claiming Mr. Depp had sexually
Now,
assaulted
LOL,
you
420 Claire
after
Books.
Ms. Roberts had said that she saw you on the island.
Thanks, Kirks.
chasing
I
and
actually
clawing at
missed
Mr.
whatever
Depp.
that
Isn't
said.
correct?
Welcome,
That is
Amy
incorrect.
Chibi. Thank you for gifting, Greg.
Please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 394. So, Your Honor, this is another recording I can represent to the court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's voices. I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
394.
394.
I think I have no objection. to
All
that one,
right,
Your Honor.
I'll go with that. All right, 394 in evidence.
I think I have no objection. I can't really hear that, can you?
What things have you been doing?
Working on these things, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change something. That's last several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Johnny.
That fucked him up, you know.
I'm sorry I fucked your son up.
No, it weirded him out. It never.
I'm so sorry I fucked your kids up.
He didn't fuck my kids up, but
I'm
it
so
was pretty fucking. It was pretty fucking weird for him, you know.
Because I jumped up and screamed because I wanted him. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm surprised he's. I'm So you can for the counselor.
This is hard to hear, like literally.
I don't need your
Hard to hear.
No, we're kidding.
your clever
It's not against me again.
comebacks. No. You think you're controlling yourself? You think you're controlling yourself?
Characters become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me see you even worse. And
I haven't turned this on before.
I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after I had an Ambien and think I'm gonna just fucking forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross how you're using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if you've been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of fucking person. No doubt.
It's you and Mr. Depp in that recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing.
So it is correct.
When you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah. And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second because drops a bait. You said, I'm not Team Amber, but I do believe she's currently got the stronger case. And I think that's really interesting. And I want to just talk about it. How do you think that? I genuinely don't get it. Unless you mean in terms of because it's so hard to prove defamation, there's every chance that he won't win because it's so hard to prove defamation. But in terms of the actual case, like any witness that has been there for the things that she's claiming has said that's not what happened. And their psychologist has literally predicted how she was going to behave on the stand based on her diagnosis of her. Her therapist came forward and said that she admitted, and it was a point of pride for her to start violence and stuff. So you're saying it's because the burden of proof is on Johnny. Yeah, so that's fair enough. So there's every chance that he won't win simply because it's so hard to prove defamation. But I definitely am now in the camp of he has such a strong defense against everything she's claiming that, look, and again, I do think a lot of this is about winning in the court of public opinion. And so I think he's definitely won in the court of public opinion. But unfortunately, yeah, it's super hard to prove defamation. But I do think they're making a good go of it. Because they're saying, they had someone on to talk about Q scores and talk about the swinging Q scores as a result of her allegations, and to talk about how he lost the Pirates of the Caribbean officially after she came out against him, and how also how he was not negatively portrayed in the press until her first allegation. It was only after that it was oh, he's drugs, and then on to wife beating. So I think they've made a really good stab at proving defamation, at proving that he has lost work and money and income and earnings because of the allegations that she's made. I think they've made a really good stab at proving that. The only thing is, if the jury has any doubt as to whether or not Johnny engaged in abuse, that's the issue. And that's where you get into, is somebody who hits you back an abuser as well? And people presumably differ on that. On that stance, I don't know. So yeah, you might be right. There's every chance he doesn't win just because it's so hard to prove defamation. But then I don't know what happens with the countersuit, because the countersuit's fucking stupid. And she's surely not going to win a countersuit just because he can't prove defamation. Is she countersuing for defamation or what? I'm not really sure. He gave a good testimony, but was good enough to win the case after Amber gives hers. So I think they're saying that Johnny might go up again and might be cross-examined again. The burden is really on if allegations can be about him. That's where the grey area defamation comes into play. They need to follow the logic of the studio execs who took him off the movie, only that his character was thrown into doubt. I think it's all about the jury and how they understand the evidence. How do they prove defamation? Can they win it by getting a lot of testimony evidence thrown out? Are they trying to get her to perjure herself to do that? Have I watched too many courtroom dramas or TV shows? I don't know. They can prove defamation by one way is to, so you have to prove, if you want to prove defamation, you need to prove that the statement was false. So they do need to convince the jury that Johnny is not an abuser, therefore the statement is false. They need to prove he lost money and work or his reputation was damaged somehow. And I feel like they've done a really good job of proving that. I also think they're doing a good job of proving that he's not an abuser, because every single incident that she describes is being tested and challenged, and witnesses are saying the opposite. And everybody who is in her stories, nobody is testifying in her favour. Like, if you notice, her sister's not testifying, seems to be. All her best friends that she keeps texting pictures to get support from, like, how come they're not testifying? You know? So I do think they're doing a good job. You think she's countersuing for defamation, and if there's another cross, then disregard my previous statement because that shakes things up hugely. Yeah, I think so. That's what I read, is that he'll go up again and get another cross-examination. Defending against an abuser can be self-defense, but in the state where that is, it's considered reactionary abuse. Yeah, but I wouldn't consider reactionary abuse to be abuse, to be honest. That's my personal stance on it. I think if someone's abusing you, like if someone was abusing me, I don't know, obviously I can't say, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over hitting them back, I'll put it that way. For what it's worth, I think his reputation is getting polished up nicely, but he's still lost a good amount of work because of it. Yeah, and there's still some certain institutions that won't be able to touch him, especially if he doesn't win this case, because then it sounds bad that he's lost two. And I know that he lost the UK one because he couldn't have certain recordings. They weren't admissible, blah, blah. And there's certain recordings in this that are also not admissible, not as many. But there's one where she's like crying after cutting off his finger, because I do believe that she's the one who cut off his finger. And she's like, I didn't mean to do it. Is his finger okay? I didn't mean it. And that's inadmissible because the like bodyguard or guy, whoever is in it that works for Johnny, passed away. What's the bet Amber will audition to play herself when they inevitably make the case film? We're just wondering if they're planning to pull the rug at one point and completely flip the odds on proving defamation by leaving the defence with no defence. I don't really get what that means. Hang on. You were replying to somebody else. You were replying to Greg. Yeah, I can't find the original. Okay. I don't think losing this is a bad thing. Everyone prefaced the whole thing saying it would be hard to win a defamation case. Yeah, true. And the thing is, there's never been like a criminal case. You know, like these allegations first came out in the divorce. I also thought she got absolutely owned yesterday about the money. She kept sitting there and going, I have done. She was like, your sworn testimony under oath is that you've donated $7 million to date. And she's like, yes, I've pledged $7 million to date. And Ewan is like, that's not what I'm asking you. And she absolutely owned her. But she didn't drop it. She was like, no, I use donation and pledge indiscriminately. I use them to mean the same thing. And the lawyer was like, well, respectfully, I don't, because they're not the same thing.
Don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
Concerned about what?
Yeah.
Let me go back a few seconds.
That this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
That's so manipulative.
That, do you?
Johnny often used other people to back him up.
You don't seem...
Trying to delegitimize all his witnesses.
That's sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
She also tried to delegitimize all his witnesses previously by saying, oh, they all work for him, though. Thank you for gifting subs, Mark.
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? in that
You
recording.
would often use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our morning recess for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. We'll see you.
15 minutes. Okay, we are actually about 15 minutes behind. So they're just coming back in. But I do need a break. I need to go get water because I have like 3 hydrates to redeem. And then I also need to go to the toilet. So we're going to go real quick. I'm only going to get water and go to the toilet this time. So I will actually only be 5 minutes. I'm not going to go try and make a cup of tea. See you in 5. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. I've got water. I couldn't find my water bottle. I had to go out to my car to get it. And it was raining. That's Greg's one. That's someone else. I think Kirk's Redeemed to Hydrate. And that's Greg's second one. Thank you, Konzo. This is a water bottle that's supposed to remind you to drink water. So it starts at 8 a.m. and then it goes to 1 p.m. and then it starts at 2 p.m. and goes to 7 p.m. and you're supposed to fill it up twice and drink 2 of these a day, and I've never successfully managed to do that. I'm awful bad for drinking water. I'm just like, me and Millie are the same. We neither of us ever really drink water. So that's why the Hydrate is actually such a good... JS Peanut, you were another... Oh, you just did it now. That's why the Hydrate channel point reward is such a good one. It is a lot of pee trips, yeah. And I pee a lot anyway. But yeah, I remember when I was in hospital after my miscarriage, they rang me afterwards. And the nurse was like, you need to drink water. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we're really worried. She's like, this is not good. Like, you need to... She's like, you're severely dehydrated. And I was like, okay, I'll drink water. But, like, that's my natural state, is severely dehydrated. Oh, Greg Redeemed Hydrate as well, okay. We're up to date now. Give me a few minutes now before you do another one. I do a liquid IV every day. Yeah, I don't know what liquid IV is. I've heard it. I've seen it and heard it on YouTubers and stuff I watch in America. Right, let's get back into this because we are falling behind again. Ooh, just like a super Gatorade mix. Nice. That I actually like the idea of that. Geez, they really do start back on time, don't they? 2, 1, go! I think it's so clever why they're in Virginia. I was reading things about how the reason that they're in Virginia is because they live streamed their trials. And the way that they got it into a Virginia court is because the servers of the Washington Post are in Virginia. And it's like, that sort of stuff is like, that's pretty clever. And someone said, I missed a chat, but somebody said, I can't believe she shat in his bed. Yeah, and the testimony yesterday when she's been cross-examined, she was like, it was the dog. I was like, oh, it was the teacup Yorkie. The human-sized shit was the teacup Yorkie. Okay. And then she was like, and you're saying you never told somebody it was a prank gone wrong. And she's like, nope, never said that. I was like, pfft. But like, are they getting that person to testify that that's what she said to them? It's just like, tough if you don't have the actual people in to be like, no, she told me that she shat in the bed. Somebody said, Mac Attack, you said you expected the Elden Ring. Yeah, sorry about that. This is happening now. I'm mad to play Elden Ring again, though. I've been thinking about it ever since we beat Margit, and I like cut together the clip of us beating Margit today, and I was so excited. So yeah, I'm raring to play Elden Ring again. But this is now and this is happening. I hate her hair today. It's very like...
Thank you. Have you seated?
I quite like the soft thing that's coming down across the front, but I hate the whole like severe plait thing. I was quite surprised in a lot of YouTube videos I was watching where they had clips of her on the red carpet and like her hair was just like down and big and mad and curly, and I was like, interesting that it's now all up and demure.
Yes, that's correct.
But you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol yourself, were you?
That's boom!
I did not use drugs when I was with John.
What?
In his presence, aside from the times I testified about with you.
Aside from all of the times you testified about
using drugs and alcohol, the times you testified to in front of this jury, right?
As I testified to earlier, I took drugs in Johnny's presence on those 2 occasions.
2?
Early in our relationship in 2013.
Only 2?
So you never changed your own behavior to support Mr. Depp and his sobriety, did you?
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think of.
But you drink wine around Mr. Depp on a regular basis, correct?
I did drink wine.
And you took Mr. Depp to Hicksville to do, quote, laughy drugs like mushrooms, end quote, right?
That's correct.
And you testified that despite what supposedly happened in Hicksville, you decided to take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June of 2013, correct?
As I mentioned, those are the 2 occasions.
Oh, only 2.
You testified that this was
Bring
the
up a
last
third,
time you
please.
would make that mistake, right?
That is correct.
And when asked if you would ask Mr. Depp to get you MDMA in Australia, you said that was, quote, ridiculous, right?
That is correct.
Because you had learned your lesson the hard way on the plane to Russia.
Russia, yes, that's correct.
Yours and Mr. Depp's wedding in the Bahamas was in February of 2015, right?
That is correct.
So that would have been after the Russia flight.
Oh!
Yes, when I did,
Oh, no.
when we had mushrooms on the island for my hen party, my wet bridal party before. We were not with Johnny. I was not with Johnny at the time.
But there's drugs on your wedding menu.
It was your wedding with Mr. Depp on the island, right?
To be clear, we were both on the same island. We just weren't around each other that evening. We had kind of separate parties, bridal party.
Oh, she's not talking about your bridal party.
And
She's
your
getting to
wedding
the
was a month
wedding
before Australia,
menu.
Correct?
That is correct.
And you arranged to have drugs at your wedding, correct?
Like I said, we had mushrooms for my bridal party beforehand,
That's not her question.
On the island for your wedding.
before the wedding.
On the island?
On the island, yes.
Okay. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 126?
Camille, don't let her away with that. She's trying to say it was for the bridal party. It wasn't. Previously, they'd said the menu for the wedding was drink and drugs.
This is an email you sent on February.
They had a
1st,
witness to testify to
2015,
having to
correct?
organize that.
That is correct. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1262.
Any objection? Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I just saw a comment there. Whatever happened, the guy on Try that was really cynical, Ryan, I think his name was, stand-up comic. There's nothing that happened to anyone named Ryan on the Try channel. Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm presuming what you're actually talking about is Davey, and it wasn't cynical, and I didn't personally experience Davey being creepy, so I'm not going to speak to it, but I will say that the best decision was made for the channel and for all the women on the channel to just not have him on the channel anymore. Don't know why you bring that up randomly 2.5, 3 years after it happened on a totally different live stream, but anyway. Oh, my bad. No, it's fine. It just sort of feels like, the question sort of feels like a trap. So just so you know. I watch Try channel. People on YouTube don't watch things in chronological order. Yeah, they don't. That's true. Why is it quiet? Oh, they're approaching, are they? It's mad. Like, she's like, I never took drugs in his presence. Like, she's contradicting herself because Camilla's going, you didn't stop taking drugs to aid with Johnny's sobriety. And she's like, yeah, I did. Except for my bridal party because he wasn't in the room technically at the time. It's like, what? Like, you did or you didn't stop taking drugs. Like, there's not like, I just didn't do them in his presence. And then, like, she okay, no worries, simple function, bye. Mark, Ryan lives in Edinburgh now. That's why he hasn't been on Try.
Ms. Heard's email published to the jury.
All right.
But we all love Ryan. Ryan forever. I think he's so funny. But anyway, can we get back to the topic at hand?
This is
Because
the schedule for your wedding
I
weekend, right?
really
Mr.?
feel like that was just a
No,
shit
it's
stirring
not.
comment
It's
for
a
no reason.
proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being quite different.
And considering that I had
See
nothing to
where it
do with
says
the Davy
7 p.m.
thing,
rehearsal dinner?
it's a bit annoying.
Yes, I see that.
And the next item on the list says,
Party
quote,
and drugs and
"After
music."
dance party and drugs and music, end quote, right?
That is correct.
So you plan to have drugs at your wedding to someone you characterize as a drug addict?
To be fair, we were going to have
Oh.
parties, as I mentioned. So a bridal party before this, the schedule ended up changing quite a bit. And this
no.
is a draft clearly that was sent before there were a lot of changes made.
No.
The bridal
I don't
party
believe that.
Your original
and the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Heard,
separate.
Ms. Heard, your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug
Welcome,
addict,
G Club. Yeah,
monster,
best party.
and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner?
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
a
it's
plan.
not what it suggests, Ms. Heard. It's what you said in that email.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that the schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little.
So your
as I
original
called
idea
it,
was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
The as the email suggests, there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
You like to do drugs on special occasions, right, Ms. Heard?
I have before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
Oof.
That is correct.
Double
That
Oreo.
was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday. Correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
And you asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet.
Sorry,
where we kept
poorly
the wine
Caucasian male.
was
I
right
was
by the
actually
elevator.
distracted by banning somebody. Did she just use the term cuddle puddle? What the fuck did she say? Cuddle puddle.
The as the email suggests, there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
She did say cuddle puddle. What the fuck is a cuddle
You
puddle?
like to do drugs on special occasions, right, Mr.
What is a cuddle puddle?
Before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. A huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday. Correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
And you asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators, and I also told him he could bring in a joint. I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show, first of all, this one hasn't been produced. This has not, it's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have it. I'd like an unredacted copy, and then I'd like an unredacted copy to be shown to the witness.
All right, do you have an unredacted copy?
We can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about this?
Oh, she's approaching again. Doodle doodle doo doo. Oh, I can't sing that because copyrighted. So sorry, yeah, I was typing to you, Mark, to avoid speaking over the thing, but it's quiet now anyway. Yeah, I just had to ban that guy you just gifted to. Sorry. So that was obvious. It was an obvious troll message. So I'm not really here for that. I'm not going to put up with that. Yeah. So sorry about that. Welcome, Carbon, Oisin, welcome everybody. Although actually, Oisin, you've been here a while. Sorry. Whew, this is a lot. How are we feeling? Has everybody else got some water in? Is everybody else hydrating? Can't give yes/no answers when it makes you look like a Disney villain. I'm hydrating with cold brew instead. Now, explain to me what cold brew is. Cold brew is not like a frappuccino or an iced coffee, is it? It's like, is that the coffee that you buy in a can that looks very like a Red Bull can, but it's a coffee can? Is that what cold brew is? Like, I've seen cans in the shop that say Starbucks on them, and they're obviously cold, but like, it just doesn't appeal to me. Ooh, smashy, smashy. Can't put that in your highlight reel, lol. Bye, daily streamer. It's basically just letting coffee grounds sit in cold water for a long period of time instead of running hot water through it like a normal drip coffee. It's just stronger. Oh, I wouldn't like it then, because I don't really want a stronger one. I think cold brew is a style of coffee. Oh geez, I have 2 types of chat on this fucking thing. They're fixed. Okay, it looks like we're coming back. I'm just going to add a browser source, don't mind me. Okay, so hopefully that works now.
I'm going to show the unredacted messages
That's
to
the redeem.
counsel for Ms. Heard on a laptop.
The redeem.
'Cause I don't have a hard copy.
Okay, interesting. What's happening here? Dermot's reaction to coffee is great. Yeah, I was in Troy recently actually, and Dermot told me that he doesn't like coffee. I was like, what? What the fuck? Any thoughts on the new commands I've added? How do I find out what you've added? FYI, question mark. How do I have no idea. I'm sorry. How do I find that out? Do I go to Stream Elements? Oh, there we go. Okay. Legend. Channel commands. Okay. Holy moly. Is this like all the ones that are automatic and then you've also added ones?
So, Ms. Heard, I'm only going to...
Your Honor, I'm going to object to asking questions while I'm looking at this.
All right, if you could give her a moment, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh. That's funny. Oh, I like instant death. Chance of instant death. I like that one. Died. It's pretty good. That's great. I wonder how it knows how many times I've died, though. 2,000 runes have been lost. That's so good, but it must be, oh, you have to put in. Oh, very good. Okay, so you guys will put in exclamation point died when I die in Elden Ring and it will start counting. That's so clever. And then you'll put in rune loss when I lose runes and then it will start counting it up. Amazing. And you've made it so subs can enter it. Excellent. Nice one, Carbon. We're definitely, remind me next time we're streaming Elden Ring to go through this at the start and let people know. Move points to new username.
Okay.
Quote.
So any objection to
Deadly.
1263 as redacted?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
Died,
1263
rune
redacted.
loss.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excellent.
Ms. Heard, directing your attention to the Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263. This is a text message that you sent to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is correct.
And you sent this message to Mr. Depp the day you had your 30th birthday dinner, right?
That is correct.
And you write, quote, "Hey baby, bring up something to drink and or a joint. I'm in if you are. See you in a minute. Question mark. XX."
Thought
Did I
you
read
didn't
that
have
right?
drugs when
That
he
is
was around,
correct.
or do you not count weed? That's sometimes the excuse given is that,
And
oh, I
the
don't
next
count
day you
weed.
went to Coachella and consumed MDMA and mushrooms, right?
She was absolutely doing drugs at Coachella. Don't
not
even
there.
try and pretend me that you weren't doing drugs at Coachella.
Let's talk a little bit more about your 30th birthday. You testified about this incident multiple times, haven't you?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, you told this jury that you were not called upon to provide a detailed accounting of all physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp until February 2020. Is that correct?
I testified that I had not been able to do so until February 2020 in outside of the context of a Cole deposition.
Actually, I misspoke. February 2022, this year.
Right, sorry, I did the same thing you did.
Okay. And you did that in something called an interrogatory. Is that correct?
The interrogatory response was the first time that I could do that outside of the context of being asked certain questions.
Alex on this early?
And you testified about your 30th birthday in this interrogatory, correct?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Nonetheless, you testified to a new detail about your 30th birthday for the first time in this courtroom, didn't you?
No, that's incorrect.
A sexual assault, no less.
I had
Letting
just not
Alex know
placed
that I'm
when
streaming.
that happened. I was never sure. If
Millie's
that
left
was
my door open. Let me close the door.
Time that he did that on the night of my birthday, and I maintained that as well in my deposition.
You told this jury that the evening of your 30th birthday dinner, Mr. Depp, quote, grabbed you by the pubic area, end quote, pushed you down, right?
That is correct.
This detail isn't in your interrogatory response, is it, Ms. Heard?
How do you grab someone? I have to say, like, she has a lot of things of, like, he grabbed me by the collarbone, he grabbed me by the pubic bone. I just don't know how you do those things. Night, Matthew. Jeez, what time is it where you are? Bonnie, welcome. Thank you for resubscribing. You've actually just missed Millie. She just ran out of the room to go say hello to Alex.
Thank you.
Oh, another approach. I'm so old that when I see people get up with headphones on, I still expect comedy greatness. Yeah, I still sometimes, like, worry it's going to happen because I had wired headphones when I started streaming and it used to happen to me. These were actually a great investment. I saw them on TikTok.
Responses at page 57.
They were a great investment.
These are signed under the penalty of perjury, correct?
Oh, you're sick, Matthew. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
This was the first time you were given an opportunity to write down everything and include all your evidence, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So let's go to page 57.
Oh, yeah. Get well soon, Matthew.
At the top of page 57, Johnny and I were not in a good place. I begged him to make my birthday dinner. Do you see that?
That is correct.
Okay, so starting on page 57, you start describing your birthday dinner, correct?
That is correct.
All right. On page 59 of your interrogatory response, you write, fourth paragraph down, Johnny grabbed me while holding me down, and I remember him asking me if I thought I was so tough. He asked me 3-4 times up close to my face, "You're so tough. Are you such a tough guy, huh? You think you're so tough. What are you going to do now?" I stood up at some point after getting off the ground. Do you see that?
That is correct.
And then you write after, I remember crying. I remember feeling exhausted and frustrated. And it hit me, meaning the realization of how sad it was that I was going to wake up tomorrow on my birthday without him.
That's correct.
Where in this interrogatory response, Ms. Heard, you describe Mr. Depp, quote, grabbing you by the pubic bone, pubic area, and pushing you down?
On page 64.
Where?
Page 64, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down. Johnny grabbed me once, did this taunting thing on the side of the bed in penthouse 3. He grabbed my vagina and held me there. Asked me if I was so tough.
You're not describing what happened after your 30th birthday?
I am. I just had not prescribed it to that date with the limited evidence I had at the time. Only in the course of looking at the evidence, preparing for this case, have I put those two pieces together. But I've always said what happened.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
You knew Mr. Depp had a scheduled business meeting or a money meeting that evening, right?
No, I knew he said he did. I didn't know if he had one. Addicts lie all the time.
So you didn't trust him?
I took it with a big grain of addict salt.
Oof.
And Mr. Depp texted you that evening to let you know he'd be late, correct?
Yes, he did text me at some point.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp was late to your birthday dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did matter to me.
And you were upset he was late.
I was hurt.
And when he finally did arrive, you felt, quote, invisible to him, right?
I did.
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You made a video driving to Coachella with your friends, didn't you?
That is correct.
I'd like to pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1264. And for the record, Your Honor, this only has music without any words on it.
And again, it's a new one, so I'd like a copy of it.
It's going to be played. There is no sound other than a song.
Yes, sure.
Did she just take a hit of coke? No, there's no way. Like, what are you even looking at to think that? Like, I assume that's a joke about how all the conspiracy theories were like, she's taking coke on the stand. I was like, obviously she isn't. This trial has had so much content, I feel lost and don't know what to think. That's so true. And the thing is that the allegations of sexual assault are so serious that, like, you don't ever want to discount them or not believe them. But unfortunately, that could be manipulated. You know? Especially when people are pointing out that the sexual allegations weren't made before. You know? And now they're being made, and they're the kind of thing that you don't want to discount or disbelieve. And somebody said earlier, pointed out that, like, they had to get Camille to cross-examine her because they couldn't get a guy to do it for optics, and actually that makes a lot of sense as well. Like, ooh, yeah, those optics
No, you're on.
All right.
pretty
Well,
bad.
If we could please publish this to the jury
Evidence. Yes,
with a sound.
Oh my god. A flip art video. Wow. That's a bit nuts.
This is the video you made when you drove to Coachella with your friends for your 30th birthday, right?
That's correct. I'm not quite sure which one of us made the video, but that's correct.
You're featured in that video driving.
That's correct.
And it's set to the song Miss You by the Rolling Stones, is that right?
That's correct.
That was a message for Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
No, that's ridiculous.
Oh, that's ridiculous,
You
really?
consumed drugs at
funny.
Coachella, didn't you?
I know, I noticed that earlier, Carbon, that they used VLC. I was like, what the fuck?
I did, yes.
And it made you feel sick, right?
I felt horrible, yes.
So you left Coachella.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified yesterday that when you left Coachella, you left with, quote, your entire group.
That is correct.
And you were, quote, never alone with Starling, right?
That is correct.
You weren't anywhere near him.
Not alone, no.
You sat here when Starling Jenkins testified that he collected you from Coachella when you were sick, right?
He picked up my entire group.
And Mr. Jenkins testified, quote, I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker, which I assume was in reference to the hotel, alone. I took her to 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back up to the Parker, got her in the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else. You were there when Mr. Jenkins testified, right?
Yes, he was wrong.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Jenkins is lying.
He's just wrong. I don't know what his intentions are. He was just wrong about that. We were a big group of us. I wasn't alone with him.
Isn't it possible that you don't remember correctly because you were sick from taking MDMA and mushrooms at the same time?
Boom.
I remember everything about that night.
I'd like to play for you Plaintiff's Exhibit 1229, which is already in evidence, at 1720 through 2128.
Welcome, Red Nation. First time chat, Mark. Thank you for gifting a sub to him or her. Or them. Hydrating fluids. Does she mean water? I'm trying to update the title on the stream, guys. What do you think I should call it to get newbies in?
Nobody's telling me.
No, you told me.
We're on the road.
So that's what I came to figure
You're
out.
not going to call your lawyers and say, stop the process. I don't want to do this. You're not going to do that.
No, not if, especially if you don't. If you,
Okay, I don't want to divorce.
You don't?
I'm kind of tempted to call it Team Amber just to get people in.
I don't want a divorce. I never wanted a fucking divorce. I never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me. Because I left you because you were fucking... You fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking started punching on me. Why? I love you.
That's what really happened the evening of your 30th birthday, isn't it, Miss Heard?
No, that's incorrect.
I'm confused
Depp
as
was
to
in bed,
who is
And then you
creating
came around the bed and
the
started punching
different
him.
That's incorrect.
You don't deny that in the recording, do you,
recordings.
Miss Heard?
I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I'm not denying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I was trying to get out of that hotel room. That was a mediation attempt. That was the recording you just heard. It was us meeting in a hotel.
But you're talking about your 30th birthday.
No, we're not.
You're not talking about going to Coachella and...
Johnny's talking about that. I am not arguing with him about any of that.
Right. You don't deny anything, do you?
I'm not talking to him about that.
I'm going to publish exhibit, or ask that the witness be shown exhibit 1265.
That's a new one too, right?
This is you and your friends at Coachella, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit plaintiff's 1265 and publish it.
No objection. All right, 1265 in evidence. You can publish it.
There's no injuries to you, are there, Miss Heard, visible in this picture?
You cannot see any visible injury, no.
Thank you, Tom.
But like, I get what she's trying to do by saying, oh, there's no visible injuries, trying to imply that there were visible, non-visible injuries, but like, she
Ms. Heard,
replied
you
that
remember
to
during Mr.
after
Depp's
saying she had 2 black
examination,
eyes.
A number of recordings were played, correct?
That's correct.
And in one of those recordings, you told Mr. Depp, quote, I hope to God Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut. End
Oof.
quote. Do you remember that?
I do not remember what exactly I could hear of that recording. I remember I heard myself make a mention of Jack's new stepfather, or potential stepfather, I can't recall.
Jack is Mr. Depp's son, right?
Potential
That is
stepfather.
correct. And I believe I was referencing a marriage that his ex-partner was going
I
to have.
think I
or
have the channel
getting into,
points coming up on screen now, but I won't know.
You were referencing
Yeah.
that Jack's new stepfather would teach him how to be a man because Mr. Depp couldn't.
I
right?
don't recall exactly what I said, but it was something to that effect.
She's very
Listen
sexist.
to
There was a
some of
lot
what
of
happened
like,
before you said that.
you're not a real
to Mr.
man
Depp.
ish
If you could
going
please
on.
play Plaintiff's Exhibit 397, which is already in evidence. And for the record, it's at 3504 through 3547. And then the next clip is 3635 through 4308.
I don't never really get why they like play individual. Well, I do get it. It's for time, but like. So what's the story in a nutshell? Yeah. Help. I'm in a nutshell. How did I get in here? Austin Powers reference.
Fucking suck your own dick.
Everything's fine until it doesn't go your way. And when it doesn't go your way, I'm in trouble. And you know what?
Suck.
I don't need you. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman.
Suck my dick.
I've
Hey.
on my path. Suck my dick with you.
Yeah, it's very hard to hear them.
Mistake. I wish I had fucking had.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I fucking hadn't. I wish I fucking hadn't bought into any of your fucking lies, your bullshit, your sober fucking presence, your fucking goodness, your sweetness, all the lies. I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into the promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I hadn't bought into any of the lies you sold. Talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest fucking, you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as
I
something
did
you're
myself
not.
as a fake
Suck my dick.
goods.
Suck my
I
dick.
fucking you've left nothing and I've left
Suck my
everything.
dick.
So suck your dick.
Suck your own dick.
No, I don't want to suck.
Sorry, I know it's not funny, but it is kind of funny.
We'll go get it, man.
No shit, I don't.
It does hear like an argumentarian super super max in Air Square at 3 in the morning.
Actually,
Kind of big. What are you talking about? You mean what's
I'm glad they allowed the language. It'd be annoying if it was beeped every 5 seconds. Like when people edit together videos from this trial and they bleep out all the cursing, it's really annoying.
I'm sure she's a bad.
God, the laugh is like manic.
We'll see.
I'm sure she is.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure she is. For her yoga blog.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she's.
That fake laugh is so disgusting.
I'm
man.
sure she's great. I'm sure she's great.
Full on Disney villain.
You give me some of
No.
the best performances.
Agreed.
No, you're right. I don't. It's all about performance.
This guy's so patronising.
How am I don't regret. I don't regret.
What else? What else?
I wonder is he just thinking like,
Come on,
Don't like that.
thank God I'm not with her anymore.
What else? What else other things do you want to add?
Can't talk
You
to me,
fucking
sound
lying piece of
foggy,
shit.
bro.
What? Oh
Like
no,
a
I
kid's
want
show.
to know.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Get out your Ubers
I'm
out.
kind of waiting. You go get it.
Yeah, I'll be in
Wait, is there no other place for you to run in your 15 other houses to go run? Come on, go be a real married man. Go deal with your shit the way that a man does. Go run to the next house. Every man does.
Yeah.
Go.
Go.
Run away. I know it's
With
hard to
your
look at yourself.
fucking ridiculous
I know.
plan.
It's
Your
hard.
panic fucking plan.
It's hard. It's hard.
Screwing everybody else
Poor
over
thing.
to get
You're
your
right.
fucking.
I tried.
get what
That's
you
what I
want.
do.
You're the most spoiled fucking brat. And you've got everybody out here almost full, but it
you're
don't
right.
last
You're
long.
right.
I've
I'm
been
sorry.
here a lot longer
You're
than
right. You got it
Because
figured out.
You don't have. Figure out what you have to offer as opposed to going out and get your hits out.
You're right. That's what I do.
Well, yeah.
The laughter is actually freaking me out.
Back to that. Well, I wonder what we else.
She must be on something in this recording, Mark.
The last 60 minutes. Oh no, it was 4 years ago. You're right. I'm sure there's other things you can find.
Go laugh.
No, I'm not laughing.
Or, no, matter of fact,
I'm
laugh
not
here.
laughing. I'm not.
Yeah, mentally goading. Candle is a good way to put it.
I know. And stripping, man. Well, there's always that. You can
You're
always
right.
go back
You can
to
write
that
a book.
for
You can
another-
write a
for
book.
another
I
10
know you
minutes.
can write a book. Oh, is this gonna be good for your book? Oh, should I have you sign an NDA for your book?
You don't even
Your book.
Like you, I don't think you would taunt
won't even
Is this gonna be good for
someone like that if you were genuinely afraid of them.
I'll write what I want. I'll write
Jacob, thank you for resubscribing.
somewhere of your journals? You're not a sellout or anything. Let's sell you journals.
Two worlds in one, yeah. I wouldn't try to engage with her verbally either, but she didn't let him leave. She'd chase him if he left, according to previous recordings. Jeez, it must be hard to listen back to this.
21 drunk straight when they're in their 20s. No, you're right. That's not selling you out. No. When you're in your 20s, you should really know what you want. Like selling your journals.
If you didn't know who the fuck I was.
You're right. Go sell your journals like a real non-seller. 55-year-old. Or, sorry,
56.
51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
No.
I don't think so.
It really doesn't.
I don't really think so. But you're right. I mean, hey, at least I didn't do like a TV show where I was heartbroken in my 20s. God, that would be like embarrassing. Wow. If only I was with someone in their 50s that could point that out to me. Imagine mine. You're right. When you play a non-sexualized object. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. You got me. You got it all figured out.
You don't even know what movies I've done. You haven't even taken an interest.
Oh, I can't believe half their arguments were about how, like, what movies they've done and stuff. So narcissistic.
Spew out these fucking lines.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, I'm the joke in the industry, Amber. I'm the joke. I'm the joke in the industry.
I'm sorry. I can't really hear you. I'm sorry. The reruns of all my bullshit are playing too loud for me to hear you. I'm gonna just go and pedal my way back. Sorry. I can't hear you.
Is she genuinely trying to be like, I have more reruns, like he's Johnny Depp?
I was 20.
Like, he is Captain Jack Sparrow, like, he's had some massive films, and she's like, I'm on a rerun on the telly, so I'm better than you.
Washed up piece of shit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you.
Your jealousy's so tragic. Your jealousy's so tragic.
He must have been recording this because he's louder.
Thinking that I'm going on a road with a band.
Bananas that they were just recording each other constantly.
You told Mr. Depp to suck your dick multiple times, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You tell him to go run to his 15 other houses, right?
That's correct.
Because that's what he would do when you behave like this, isn't it?
Eventually, he would go and stay in one of the other houses.
You call him a sellout, don't you?
I was expressing frustration about his criticism of my career and how many problems that caused within the dynamic of our relationship, yes.
So you call him a sellout and a joke?
I called him horrible, ugly things, as you can hear.
Sellout.
We spoke to each other in a really horrible way.
Pretty sure we just heard you speak to him in a really horrible way. You called him a sellout,
I just
right,
disagree.
Ms. Heard? You called him a sellout, right, Ms. Heard?
I called him a lot of ugly things.
And a joke.
I called him a lot of ugly things.
You called him a joke on that recording. You called him a washed up piece of shit.
I think we both called each other that on that occasion, yes.
Mr. Depp mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning. That's
Mr.
how that
Depp
works.
says, quote, your jealousy is so tragic.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Miss Heard?
I think he was indicating I was jealous of his career.
But now you've twisted it to say it was Mr. Depp that's the jealous one.
Johnny's always been very jealous when I worked, when I did anything, friends. Yes.
Why didn't she show that he got her the
So
role?
I'm going to ask you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit
Oh, here we go.
120E.
Oh, excuse me.
This is a series of text messages between you and Mr. Depp.
Oh my god, is she about to prove that he got her
That
the
is
role in
correct.
Aquaman?
I'm going to move to admit and publish these text messages. Mr. Depp's messages have been redacted.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120E in evidence, you can publish.
Ugh, fuck, it's not about...
Starts with a text message from you to Mr. Depp on September 26, 2015.
Not about the role.
Right?
Welcome, Margaret.
And you
Oh,
write,
Margaret!
"Answer is back. This is him." Did I read that
Are you
right?
coming back to kill me after I killed you in Elden Ring the other day?
Ran away, first sign of trouble.
Ah, PTSD.
Not the man you promised you would be. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Then in the next one down, you write, promised, swore to me you would be.
That is
Right.
correct. The non-monster.
Ms. Heard, you're talking about Mr. Depp running away from you at the first sign of trouble, aren't you?
No, I'm recognizing the clues at this point. When he would run away at the first sign of trouble, often that was a clue for me to know that he was back using again and that we were about to enter the next phase of the cycle.
And you describe his running away from you as the monster, right?
That wasn't what was a monster. The monster is the man who beat me up. The running away was just attached to that. It was a sign, a signal to me, as a clue, as somebody trying to put together clues that we were entering into that phase.
But in these messages, Ms. Heard, the
Exactly.
monster isn't Mr. Depp doing drugs, is it?
It was always the man who did drugs and beat me up. Yes, that's always been the monster.
That's not what you're saying in these messages.
That is exactly what I'm saying in the messages.
That doesn't
You don't
make
describe
sense.
Mr. Depp being violent, do you?
I do not describe that in this text message, no.
So it's a cowardly monster this time.
No.
And going down the page, you write a long series
No,
of text messages to Mr.
but-
Depp that don't get a response. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You write, come grown, face the shit, and we can do anything.
That's meant to be come down.
You go on a little later to say, please come home. Let's apologize to each together.
She's out
continuing on
of.
page
She's out for
77,
bin in those
right.
text messages because
Not
they're
go
totally
to bed
spelt
mad.
wrong and everything.
And then you say, sound okay? Sound like the priority in the long
So the
run?
monster is him running away from her.
Come home. Don't be
Jesus.
the monster. Be the man. Please. Please call me. Please. Continuing on page 78.
It doesn't say please call me. It says please answer. Anyway.
You write,
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't
That
want
is the
the
next page.
monster.
Just say please call
I
me.
need my man. I need to talk to you. Please, Johnny. Don't force me to be something else to you. This is taking me for granted and I can never stop before this turns into something far darker.
Oof. That sounds like a threat.
Describing yourself in that text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again. I'm
He's not
trying
responding to you, Ms. Heard.
He's not. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not.
that's why I'm trying to desperately
He's
stop him.
fucking ignoring you.
Please answer the phone, you say. Doesn't this mean anything to you? And it goes on. And I won't read all these messages, but you're saying, please answer over and over again. Right?
It was very important to me. I was running out of time and I was trying desperately to stop him.
Running out of time for what? He's ignoring
Ms.
you.
Heard.
Exactly, which is how I knew it was about to get a lot worse. He would leave, use, and come back way worse, with way less reality, with more delusions. He'd be more drunk. He'd be
I'm going to
more
move
under
to
the
strike everything
influence.
after
I was trying to stop
the
that.
answer to her question.
Your Honor, she was responding.
I'll overrule the objection. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster.
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the door.
Who was the real monster in this relationship, Ms. Heard?
Lives in Johnny, half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
The objection shouldn't have been overruled.
I'd like you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 120F.
I'm getting confused because I don't know which one's the objection. Do you mean Camilla's move to strike what she said shouldn't have been overruled?
There's another set of text messages
Because
between
the other lawyer started
you and
talking at the same
Mr.
time, so I
Depp.
got a bit
Is that correct?
confused.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120F in evidence. You can publish.
Yes.
This is a set of text messages, and it's from October 2015.
I'm
Do you see
wandering
that?
around the building trying
Yes,
to
I do.
find a way in. Oh my god.
In fact, you sent all these messages to Mr. Depp on October 22nd, 2015. Isn't that right? And again, I'm not going to read them all, but you start off again by trying to get Mr. Depp's attention, right? You write, please come home.
I took it that the other lawyer was
was trying to
objecting to
stop
her
him
striking
and
it, if that makes sense.
You write, please come home, right?
That is
And the
correct.
objection was
Please answer.
overruled.
Don't break us up.
So
Please answer. Please.
it was struck?
Continuing
I'm
on
confused.
page 97, you write, give me some piece of your heart. Please, No fights.
I like the way they
promise.
can like make it go bigger. That's really
Please.
this tech
fights.
is
Please just pick up.
so good.
Please give me 2 minutes. I'm dying. Please. And continuing on page 98, you
She
write,
cannot spell.
please come home. Please come home, Baba. I am so sorry. Actually, you didn't say Baba, you said baby. Apologies. And it goes on. Did I read those correctly?
That is correct. That was another time I'm trying to stop another twist off.
This is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and our
Ms.
lives
Hurd.
were getting a lot worse at that
Ms.
point.
Hurd, I'm talking about your actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would
Isn't
try
that
to-
correct? You
I
would
would try-
harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. Interrupt you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Hurd?
It
Yeah.
was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It was
Hurd,
very
my
important
question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
Yes
try
or no?
everything to
Ms.
get a hold
Hurd?
of him and
So
to
that's a
stop the
yes.
cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the monster for not responding to you,
That's not what made him the monster.
for
No.
needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The
Not
monster
for
was who
doing
he
drugs.
was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Hurd. Not for being violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
Let's listen to Defendant's Exhibit 598C, which is already in evidence.
Then let's not do this anymore, because I'm really getting frustrated.
Okay.
And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Okay? So let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop? May
Because
I
you're so-
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave.
God,
Let
it
me
must be annoying. Somebody just wanted to just
Stop
keep a
pushing me!
fight
Stop
going.
pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why are you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall and going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
Remember? I'm not pushing you. I'm not rushing you. I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space.
I think I've heard this one
If you
before. Or something similar to it.
This and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric.
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop. I'm stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple.
Oh, is it gone quiet? Have they cut the microphone?
We'll just see when I get home. We'll just talk, or we won't talk, or we'll finish this, or we won't finish it. But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not. This is.
Please stop doing this. Please, you're causing me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please stop. Please, I feel like I have heart attacks almost every day. Please stop. Please
what are you
stop
doing? Why-
doing it. Please stop. He's so fucking mean.
Why
You're
are
a
you
fucking
with me?
bully. Stop. Please stop. I've been begging you not to fight. I just said, can we please have a normal argument? Just even a normal conversation, fucking normal argument. And for the last hour, I've been begging you to please just leave it at that. Let's just go on with our night. I would have been able to come in with you. We would have been able to let it go in a few minutes. It would have been fine. If we allowed ourselves to have fucking normal arguments. Please, you're killing me with this. You're killing me. You're fucking killing
Is she recording this in an attempt to feel, to like, she thinks it makes her look
Sean, could you,
well?
please, I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah, Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really ready.
It's you and Mr. Depp in the recording, correct, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You just won't let him go, will you?
That's not true. We were outside of his studio and he wanted to go and use. It was a pretext. The claim that he was upset with me was a pretext so that he would go on a bender. I knew that pattern every time this recording happened.
Interesting how like everything
Is your
is.
testimony now that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio?
Oh, I was only harassing him so he wouldn't use. Oh, I was only telling him he wasn't there to leave me for 5 fucking minutes.
That's your testimony now?
So he wouldn't use.
We were outside his studio, his man cave house, if you will, in the car, I believe, during that recording.
And he was going to go inside and use.
That was the pattern. And as you can hear from my voice, I'm very, very, very scared of entering into the next cycle under what I had been conditioned to understand we were at that point in our relationship.
That's not true, is it, Ms. Heard? Mr. Depp was trying to go inside his house to see his daughter, Lily Rose.
She might have been over that day, but
So
that's not
your
what he was
testimony
getting out of
now?
the car to do, and that's not what I was stopping him from doing.
Let's play the beginning part of that recording where
Yeah,
Mr. Depp
Carbon,
tells
keep
you
making commands,
that he
please.
wants
I don't
to
know what
go
a lurk
inside
command is,
to
though.
see his daughter.
But chat, let him know if you want one. Wonder why
Let's
did
not
he...
do this anymore because I'm really getting frustrated, and I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop, I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
he's
I
so-
go?
We'll circle back to this, but it's your testimony that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio.
We were in the car.
You were in the car outside of Mr. Depp's studio,
That's correct.
and he wasn't telling you, please let me go inside my house to see my daughter. He was indicating to you that he wanted to go inside to do drugs. That's your testimony.
I know my testimony is that I knew what he was going inside to go do. I knew what stage of the cycle we were in. I knew the patterns by then, and I was desperately out of time trying to interrupt that cycle.
Let's go to May of 2016. Yesterday, Ms. Heard, Ms. Bredehoff, your attorney, showed you certain pictures from May 21, 2016. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 710, which has already been admitted into evidence. Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph taken of you on May 21st, 2016. Do you recall?
Yes, that's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, if we could please do a split screen, Tom, and also pull up Defendant's Exhibit 714, which has already been admitted with redactions. Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph that was also taken on May 21st, 2016, correct?
Yes, although the one to the right might have been taken the next day. I can't be sure. The reason I say that is because there's light in the background. So it looks like it was taken in the daytime, which means maybe it was the next day.
Didn't you testify that you took different lighting, pictures in different lightings on May 21?
That is correct, yes.
And you're wearing two thin necklaces in this picture on the right, is that correct?
That is correct.
You testified that these pictures were taken the same night.
The one on the right looks like it was taken in the daytime because I can see the daylight behind me.
But you testified that they were taken the same day.
I don't know if I think I testified that they came from the same incident of the same day, not necessarily taken on the same day.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 712, which has already been admitted. You testified yesterday. This is another photograph of you on the night of May 21.
That's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, can we please do a split screen and also pull up defendant 713, which has already been admitted? Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday. This is also a photograph of you from the same night, correct?
That is correct.
That looks like the
Testified
same
yesterday
picture.
That the only difference between these two photographs is that the light was turned on.
That's what it appears to
That's
be, yes.
they're totally different. Like
The light is on
the
in both of these pictures, though. Isn't
the
that right?
saturation has
It
been
looks
turned
to
up
me
on the
like
one on the left.
has the vanity light, the makeup lights, you know, the more yellow-hued ones that go around the mirror on, and then the one on the right looks like it doesn't have
No, I think the saturation's just been turned up on the one on the
True, you
left.
just edited these photographs?
Yeah.
No, I've never edited a photograph.
Didn't you just enhance the saturation for one of these photos to make your face look more red?
Yes.
No, that's incorrect.
It's obvious. Like,
You were sitting
surely
in courtroom
this has
when
been
Mr. Eddie
analysed.
Baruch testified to seeing you the week after May 21, 2016, correct?
I was here.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you on May 22nd.
Welcome, Matty. First
while
time
you were
chat.
changing the locks of your penthouse. Do you recall that testimony?
I do. I just don't know if he was right about the date, but I do remember him saying that.
How have these not been digitally,
Birthday, the day after his birthday.
forensically analysed or whatever they were talking about? Like, how can they not prove that
Mr.
that's
Baruch
just an
testified
edited
that he saw
version?
you repeatedly in the days following also, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Baruch testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face, correct?
That is what he's testified to.
You were also here in this court when Mr. Sean Bett testified to seeing you on the evening of May 21, 2016. Is that right? You were here.
That's correct.
Mr. Bett also testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face that evening, correct?
I realize
Millie's
that's
left
what
the
he
door
said.
open again.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa
Millie,
Sines
in or
testified
out?
by deposition.
Are you in with
about
me or
being
are you
called
out?
to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st,
Do you want to stay with me or do you want to go down?
Right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this
Get on my
injury.
lap. Come on.
No.
Come on.
Miss
Come on.
Officer Sines testified
Good
that she
girl.
met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Is that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Ms. Heard, my question is a bit more nuanced.
So is my answer.
Oh, Carbon, thank you for gifting Matty a sub. Millie. Millie. Oh, I love you. I love you, honey. I love you. I love you. Meow, 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 meow. Hang on, is the sound gone or is it just? Do I? Oh yeah, they're approaching. Your Honor, can I approach? Oh, Millie, look, you're Matty's favorite YouTube doggy. Oh, poor Millie was very sick the last few days, weren't you, honey? She shat all over the house. She's got a dicky tummy, but she's better now, aren't you? Aren't you better now? Good girl. Good girl, I love you. I love this dog so much. I actually just can't imagine my life without her. Does dicky mean sick? It does. Dicky tummy, yeah, is a sort of, I don't know, childish way to say that she had the skits. Notice Johnny now has a pile of candy for his lawyer. Yeah, he seems to like bringing sweets into trial.
I think they might be confusing the witness.
Someone's confusing the
My
witness.
question is more nuanced. You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Science said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
The red, puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was
She
her
said-
testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Science didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It
Isn't
doesn't
that right?
matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016, and
Trying to show you more
he also
Millie here.
testified
In case you're
no
wondering what
injuries
I'm
on your
doing with
face on
my
May
camera.
21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury. They didn't consider what they walked on. In
This
the
is
house
so
to be injured, it was.
interesting. How language can be used to change the meaning of something.
Gatlin testified by deposition about being called on.
She's like, no, you're not injured. No, they didn't consider me injured. She's like, no,
did
you weren't.
Did he? And that's what he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No.
Yeah,
we all saw
Candle.
on
Hopefully
video
she is.
camera.
Like, we
You
want
identified
to.
yourself,
We
isn't
want
that
her
correct?
to
I had to
get
because of
annoyed.
how far away he was. He didn't
Matty,
even
thank
know-
you. I'm
he
your
didn't
favorite
even know who he
YouTuber.
was
But
gonna
after you
see.
identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that
Linguistic
correct?
gymnastics,
From a distance,
80% court hearings. It
He didn't
seems to
see any
be.
visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
Miss Heard, it's more nuanced
Testified
than
that
that.
he didn't see any visible injuries, did
I
he?
would believe that he didn't, yes.
You were also in this courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Thank you,
Mr.
Matty.
Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have.
Why
even though
wouldn't
he had a
he
habit
have?
because his parents taught him correctly to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
Yeah,
You
like how.
testified
What?
yesterday that you sought a temporary restraining order on May 27th, 2016 because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building. Isn't that correct?
That's
In case
correct.
you wonder what Millie is looking
You
at,
changed
she's
the
looking out the
locks
window.
to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I
You're
attempted
looking
to.
out the window. You're looking out the window, honey.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
I do not know when.
Love you.
I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up
Though if
Plaintiff's
Alex
Exhibit
starts up a
304,
channel,
which
your
is
top
already in
spot might be in
evidence,
jeopardy.
and play
Luckily,
from
Alex has no
254
interest.
through 439.
I can't get over the fact that well now they're using QuickTime Media Player. It's like they're switching from VLC to QuickTime Media Player. Also, I don't really understand what this piece of footage proves, or I get what it implies, but I feel like she's being pretty careful. She must have known there was a camera in there, or God, I think I need to drink some water. Where's the audio gone? Is it because I have my mouse off it, or is it actually gone? Oh, I think they're just waiting. Thanks, guys, for redeeming Hydrate there. I did one, so I'll do two. Is this her leaving James Franco's place? I don't think so. I think it's James Franco coming over to hers. That does seem quite intimate, in fairness. The head touch. You don't really touch somebody's neck unless you're very close to them. It's a real intimate place to touch somebody. But also, yeah, probably hiding from the camera.
That's you and Mr. Franco on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time. It looked like that.
Why don't we pull that video back up? $22:51. Almost midnight, right?
That's
Or, excuse me, almost 11 o'clock at night.
exactly.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21, 2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
James
You
even
knew
had
Mr.
an
Depp was
overnight
out of
bag.
town on May
Oh,
27th when you went to get the
spicy.
domestic violence restraining order. Isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was heading out on a European
All this water is
tour
making me
that
need to go to the
week.
toilet again.
Isn't that right?
I'm not
How
quite
do
sure
streamers
what I
stream and not
understood
go to the
was
toilet for
scheduled at that
ages?
time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Let's go back to that recording. It's Defendant's Exhibit 598.
Oh, I love the notes. Sticky notes.
So you testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, to effectively start another cycle.
Right. Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's neither here nor there. That
Your
wouldn't
testimony is now,
prevented him
Mr.
from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children?
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second
Ooh.
of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter.
Can they bring in his children now?
Let's play, please, Defendants 598 at 49:48 through 50:35. 50:35.
I'm not. I'm itching. I don't want to be doing this. I want it just to. Why don't you just say, okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing, hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours and we'll talk about it. Is it that difficult to say that? Or you just fucking hate me and you want to be shitty about it? Please. Just fucking. It's not that difficult. Okay? I don't want to stand here in a driveway and argue with you. Okay, well, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? Please? Please. Just let me know if you're going to go somewhere. Just let me know, please, so I know.
And almost an hour later, you're still arguing with Mr. Depp outside, right?
I don't know how long that argument lasted, no.
An hour.
Ms. Heard, you testified about seeking a domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes, I have.
And how you wanted to do it discreetly?
That's correct.
That you wanted as much privacy as you could have?
Yes, that's correct.
And how you walked out to a sea of paparazzi and cameras and photographers, right?
That is correct.
And how this overwhelmed you?
It was overwhelming, yes.
Because you didn't want this attention on you?
That is correct.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 800, which has already been admitted into evidence.
Taking my be real.
This is a photograph of you taken inside the courthouse when you obtained the DVRO, correct?
That's correct.
And your friend Raquel Pennington took this photograph?
Yes, that's correct.
Because you needed to document your time at the courthouse getting a DVRO?
She just took a picture of me. I'm assuming it was in relation to my divorce, yeah.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 801, which has already been admitted into evidence. Ms. Heard, this is another
It's in the
photograph
same
of you taken
spot.
inside the court.
The bruise is in the same spot as
That
the
is
last
You're having a photo
picture
shoot inside
that
the courthouse
she's
when
accused
you
of
were getting a
faking.
DVRO.
I would not characterize it that way, Miss Vasquez.
You have a mark on your face, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You didn't use your bruise kit this time to cover it up?
Oh.
No, it was the only day I actually walked out of my house without makeup on. I had to be stopped. My best friend saw me in the bathroom starting to put makeup on and told me not to.
All right.
Bruise kit was an unfortunate thing to call
Please
it the other
pull up
day.
Exhibit 1.
That's plaintiff's at 1.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Apologies.
That's fine.
It's already been admitted into
Yes, ma'am.
evidence. You wrote this op-ed, right, Ms. Heard?
With the help of the ACLU, yes.
That's what you testified to in this courtroom, right?
That is correct.
And this was published on December 18th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Aquaman was released on December 21st, 2018, right?
Oh,
Yes, that sounds correct.
And that was your first big blockbuster, big budget role, right?
I disagree, but it was the first time I had like a leading role in a movie of that size, yes.
so
Well, second
what?
time, yes.
What was your first time?
The second one.
But you were the love interest in Aquaman, correct?
Millie, please stop.
Now,
Millie, please stop. Millie,
you wrote here, quote,
Millie.
and you're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp in May of 2016, right?
Are you asking me if that's what I was writing about?
That's what you're referring to, correct?
Can you just give me the question again? I'm sorry.
You're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party restraining order against Mr. Depp in May of 2016.
That's correct.
Stop.
You also wrote,
Sorry, I'm
quote,
just posting on
questions
Instagram
arose
that I'm
as to
live.
whether I would be able to keep my role of Mira in the films Justice League and Aquaman. This is also referring to your accusations of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
This is referring to what happened to me after I got my TRO, my restraining order.
Against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
These questions arose only after you accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence in May of 2016, allegedly, right?
Yeah, from the time I got the TRO, being associated with domestic violence, that's what it's a reference to, yes.
You also wrote, quote, imagine a powerful man as a ship like the Titanic. That ship is a huge enterprise. When it strikes an iceberg, there are a lot of people on board desperate to patch up holes, not because they believe in or care about the ship, but because their own fates depend on the enterprise. In this op-ed, you're saying Mr. Depp is a ship, right?
I'm making an analogy to a powerful man as a ship.
Yes.
The powerful man you're referring to in this analogy is Mr. Depp.
It's Mr. Depp,
right?
isn't it?
I was talking about a bigger
Mr. Depp.
issue actually than just
Talking about Mr.
Johnny. I was talking about what we as a country were talking about at the time of writing this, which is when powerful men in general do something horrible or something they shouldn't, how there is a system in place to protect them, clean up after them, maintain them.
Alex will let you out, Millie.
afloat.
Go
You know,
down.
this is
Down.
a reference to not just Johnny, it was about what was
Go down
happening
and
as a
Alex will
culture
let you
when we
out.
were addressing
Hang
a
on,
lot
let
of
me
Me Too
send Millie
issues for the first
downstairs.
time.
The iceberg is you in this analogy, right, Ms. Heard?
I would not say that. That was not what I intended to know.
So this is another reference to your accusations against Mr. Depp.
Okay, hang on. I need to let her out.
No, this is about what happened to me once I left that relationship and got a TRO and became associated with domestic violence.
But it's your testimony that this op-ed isn't about Mr. Depp, right?
It's about what happened to me after. That's
It's
correct.
about your experience after obtaining a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct, among other things.
But it's not about Mr. Depp.
It is not about him,
Mr. Depp is making it about Mr. Depp, right?
ironically.
It's kind of like that Carly Simon song, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't know what you mean.
Let's talk about the defamatory statements in the op-ed that you also claim are not about Mr. Depp. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. This is about Mr. Depp, isn't it?
No.
You wrote this in 2018, right?
Exactly.
And 2 years prior was 2016, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's correct.
So
it's not about
May of
Johnny. It's about what happened to me
Ms.
after.
Heard, my question was May of 2016 is 2 years prior to December of 2018, correct?
That's correct.
All right. May 2016 is when you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence, right?
I got my restraining order at that time.
And you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence.
Yes, that was attached to my restraining order, so yes.
May of 2016 is when you sought a restraining order against Mr. Depp.
That's correct, and I had to provide testimony for that.
Right. And May 2016 is when you walked into court with a mark on your face to obtain that restraining order. Yes or no?
That was the day I walked into court with a bruise on my face, yes.
And you were photographed with that mark on your face, weren't you?
I walked out to a bunch of photographers, yes.
May 2016 is when you told the world that Mr. Depp had physically abused you during your relationship. Isn't that right?
That I had to provide testimony as part of my restraining order application, yes.
And that's how you became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Right, Ms. Heard?
From that point on, yes.
That's when you claimed you faced our culture's wrath, right?
That's when it started, yes.
But it's your testimony under oath that this statement is not about Mr. Depp.
It is not. It is about what happened to me afterwards. That's the more interesting thing for me to write about.
The next statement reads, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
So I was listening to it the whole time, by the way.
Isn't that right?
Not just about him, but he is included in that, yes.
He's the man you accused of abuse 2 years prior to this op-ed. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, but I wrote this op-ed in the context of many men at the time that were public figures or in the public eye being accused as well. So it was a reference in general to a larger phenomenon, not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny.
What are you doing? Okay. And then you write, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. This one's also about Mr. Depp.
I did not write that.
Well, you've accused Mr. Depp of sexual violence in this very courtroom, haven't you?
Yes, but I was intending to keep that private when this was published. I had not publicly ever accused him of that.
I'm going to move to strike everything after the word yes.
No, I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
You may not have written this title, but you published it, didn't you?
I did not publish a title. I retweeted the article that included the title in it because that was the article.
Let's pull up, please, plaintiff's exhibit.
Legally, that's publishing, I think.
This is a tweet from your Twitter account
Oh.
on December 19th, 2018, correct?
Oh, that's
That is
killer.
correct.
It says today I published. Oof.
Your Honor, oh, it's already in evidence?
It is in evidence. Yes.
Thank you. So on December 19th, 2018, you tweeted, quote, today I published this op-ed in the Washington Post. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And the tweet includes a link to the op-ed we were just looking at, correct?
That's correct.
And you can see that the title of the op-ed in your tweet is, quote, opinion, Amber Heard. I spoke up against sexual violence, right?
Yes, you don't get to change the title of an article you're retweeting.
And that's the title that you put on your Twitter, correct?
I did not put it on my Twitter, no.
You linked it to your tweet.
I retweeted the article.
You published it.
I retweeted a link
That's
to
not a retweet.
the article that
Get rid of this zoom in. It's not a
published
retweet.
it on
It's a tweet. There's a difference.
I retweeted it.
You testified yesterday that you didn't have any control over the title, and just now, of the op-ed when you retweeted it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
This wasn't a retweet, though, right?
It wasn't a retweet. Thank you.
A tweet?
Yeah,
Perhaps
you
it was
tweeted
a
it.
tweet. I'm not quite sure.
It was
I guess
a tweet.
Tweet. I misspoke. Excuse me. Tweet, not retweet.
You included a link to the electronic copy of the op-ed in your tweet, right?
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say earlier, and I might have misspoke. It's like I'm trying to attach it.
Right. So you included a link, right?
Yes.
to the
That's
op-ed.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you must have seen the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you tweeted it, right?
I may have. I just didn't notice it.
Not very careful about
You
what
didn't
publish,
care.
Are you, Ms. Heard?
No, you didn't
I
give
just
a
didn't
fuck.
notice the title.
No, you didn't give a fuck.
You didn't need to include the link to the electronic version of the op-ed in your tweet, did you?
How else would I have linked it?
Well, you didn't need to include the link to tell the world that today you had published this op-ed in the Washington Post about women who are channeling their rage and about violence and equality into political strength despite the price of coming forward. Right?
I couldn't attach it with a paper clip.
No,
Oh.
you didn't need to attach it at all to tell the world
Oh, I
that
see
you
what you're
had
saying.
published an op-ed.
No, the goal was to tweet about it and to provide a link so that people could read it.
Yeah,
The
drive
op-ed's
traffic
in
to
your
it.
name, right?
That's correct.
So if you had noticed the title of the electronic version of the op-ed.
So I'm just going to pause it here for a second to go back over chat for a sec. So Bonnie asked, did she write the title herself though? Even if she hasn't written the title herself, it's her name's attached to it. She shared it on her Twitter. She wrote the piece and she would have actually had to approve that headline. But even if, just we'll say on the off chance that for some reason that publication didn't run a headline by somebody who wrote such a sensitive piece, I would find that hard to believe. But she still shared it to her Twitter, and her Twitter would have had presumably millions of followers. So therefore she's published it to her platform, and that's what Camille is getting at, which I don't think Amber is understanding. Camille is like, you didn't need to tweet out a link to it. And she's like, well, then how would I have shared it with my millions of followers then? The idea was to share a link and get people to read it. So in other words, the idea was to drive traffic. So the idea was to get these allegations out there. Like, that's what she's getting at.
In your tweet, you could have asked the Washington Post to change it. Isn't that right?
She could have.
No.
Yes.
You didn't do
Sorry.
that.
I used to work in journalism. I used to work for an online publication. You could absolutely have asked them to change it, no problem, and they would have changed it immediately as well, especially for such like a sensitive topic or such a topic that's going to get so much traction. Absolutely. And surely you would have a contact there if you've written a piece for them. So all you would have had to do was send a quick message, email, text, whatever you wanted to your contact and say, could you actually change this title, because I just don't feel it accurately portrays what I'm saying in the piece. If she didn't do the headline, which I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say she didn't, because people who can't spell don't usually know how to do clickable headlines, put it that way. So maybe she didn't write the headline, maybe they did write the headline, but she would have approved it. But even if she didn't, again, giving her the benefit of the doubt, she absolutely could have texted and said, please change it. But how do you not notice it? You know, how do you not notice it?
Washington Post to change the title.
I didn't notice it, and I didn't ask them, nor do I think I needed to.
At the bottom, do you see that there's another tweet from December 19th, 2018?
Yes, I do.
And in this one, it reads, I am honored to announce my role as an ACLU ambassador on women's rights. Did I read that right?
Ouch.
That's correct.
So you announced your ACLU ambassadorship the same day you posted the op-ed on your Twitter.
I think that was always the plan, is to attach the article with the announcement. That
Always
I
the plan.
was
So there's a plan around the article. Now, look, I'm not an idiot. I know that everything has a marketing plan.
Would this be a good time to stop for lunch?
No, it's too
No.
early.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We got to keep going at least till 12:30.
Okay. That's
thank
fine,
you.
Anna. Thank you. You testified yesterday about your counterclaim against Mr. Depp in this case. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Your counterclaim is based on 3 statements made by Mr. Depp's attorneys, Adam Waldman. Is that right?
That's correct.
We looked at those 3 statements yesterday, right?
That's correct.
And the first statement was from an April 8th, 2020 article, right?
That's correct.
And that's Defendant's Exhibit 1245 that's been previously admitted. Would you please pull that up? Thank you. If we could please publish that. Thank you.
I could also eat. 7 minutes till
Scroll down
12:30.
to
Okay,
the
that's
page.
grand.
Mr. Depp's, Mr.
Well, we're
Waldman's
also
statement
5 minutes
appears on the
behind,
eighth
just
page of
FYI.
the 12-page article. Is that right, Ms. Heard?
I don't know how many pages are here.
Well, this is the 8th page. Let's go to the 12th.
12-page article. What?
Let's pull up, please, Defendant's Exhibit 1246, which has already been admitted.
Have you eaten anything other than rice cake today? Yes, I had lunch before I started. That's actually why I was late.
And if we could please go to Mr. Waldman's statement on page 10.
But if they break for lunch, I could just have dinner, I guess,
And go on to page
while
11.
they have
of the-
lunch. Wonder how long the lunch will be. Will I end the stream and start a new one, or will I
That's
leave the
Mr.
stream
Waldman's
running?
Statement, right?
That is correct. I think it's Mr. Waldman speaking on behalf of Johnny, yes.
You don't have any evidence of that, do you, Ms. Heard? This is Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
I think it's included in the article as well.
That this is Mr. Waldman's statement, correct?
That a representative or an attorney, I don't know which word it says in the article, that it says very clearly that they're speaking on behalf of Johnny or representing Johnny.
Can we please pull up?
Chat with us. Yeah, no, I will. I'm happy to stay in chat while they're at lunch, but also I need to eat. So do what Foxy G does and shit talk people's bad videos. That's mean. I think it varies, but I think it's at least an hour.
If we could please go to
Could fit in some Elden Ring.
8 of this article. Sorry, Your Honor. May I just approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Elden Ring while you eat. Yeah, I could do that. I'm texting Alex now to see what his dinner plans are.
We'll come back to this. Sorry, Ms. Heard. Sorry, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and take this down, please. Thanks. You testified yesterday about how your reputation was before these 3 statements were made, correct?
Yes, I did.
You testified that your career was going very well before.
I think I said the trajectory was positive, yes.
You testified you had a global campaign for L'Oreal, right?
That is correct.
You testified you were waiting on a schedule for Aquaman 2.
That is correct.
You testified you were scheduled to do a press tour for the TV show.
If he got her the Aquaman thing,
Press
then
obligations, yes.
she literally was a nobody before him.
The articles, you were no longer actively involved in the L'Oreal campaign. Isn't that right?
They suspended using my material.
And that you were no longer involved in the publicity surrounding the stand after the articles, right?
That's correct.
And you didn't hear anything about the schedule for Aquaman 2.
Correct.
Ms. Heard, you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason you are allegedly no longer active in the L'Oreal campaign, do you?
Well, I mean, other than my awareness that they can't use me because of all of the online attention that generated.
And you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason that the stand media opportunities allegedly stopped, do you?
Yeah, I know they couldn't attach my name to their promotional materials because of the online stuff.
In fact, there was a lot of reasons why you were no longer active in these endeavors. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
Reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Waldman's statements. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
There was a lot of publicity about your relationship with Mr. Depp around the time Mr. Waldman made the 3 statements at issue, right?
I do not recall.
A lot of really negative publicity for you, Ms. Heard. Isn't that right?
There's been an ongoing smear campaign, yes.
Oh.
An ongoing negative publicity campaign.
It's an orchestrated smear campaign.
You have no evidence of that, do you, Ms. Heard?
Just look me up, you'll see.
Let's take a look at some of that.
Yikes.
All right.
Great product placement for that Sweet Leaf brand, isn't it? Because, like, every one of these videos is getting, like, 8.9 million views or something. gone quiet again. Oh, they're approaching again. God, I'm so hungry. Hungry. I checked the Discord. See, is there anything happening in the Discord? Oh, I have to log in. Two-factor authentication is obviously key, but kind of annoying sometimes. Go eat and come back later. I'm going to, don't worry. I'm going to wait till the end of this. There's 6 minutes left because I just want to see how this, or there's actually, is what, 12 minutes left in this live stream. I want to see how this ends and how this bit of piece ends. And then I'm going to go eat. Eat me whole off. Come on, sound. I don't want to skip too far ahead in case. Oh, Jesus. Look how long they're at the. Oh, why are there policemen coming in? God, they're still up there. Still up there. Okay, it comes back now shortly, I think. There we go. Christ, they were up there for like
Thank you, everyone,
6 minutes. It's the longest one. Hang on. A fight broke out and I missed it. How? No, there's no way. Really? I swear to God if that's not true and I have to... Let me put it on playback speed 2. I don't know, I'm just messing. I thought you were, alright. But yeah, wonder why guards came in. They're all laughing and chatting. Yeah, I don't think anything interesting is happening here. I think they're just getting restless. Okay, so go back to where they finally come down.
So, Ms. Heard, my last question to you
Playback
was if there was a lot of
speed.
new publicity for you around the time that Mr.
No!
Walton was
Playback speed. Normal.
I believe that they were made.
Can you make it go back to 10
I mean, I
seconds on
believe that the
desktop? No.
statements kind of kept being a
Witness, that would be great.
I believe that the state
Okay, where do they actually come back down?
Statements, isn't that correct?
There we go. Ew, white mode. I have it. It automatically will go to black mode now. I think it's 6.
Negative publicity for you around the time that Mr. Waldman made these statements. Isn't that correct?
I believe that they were
Bonnie Elaine, I know you missed nothing of significance,
I
really.
mean, I believe that the statements kind of kept being attached to new defamatory, or articles that were like smear campaign sort of attack articles, is what it.
Let's go through some of the articles that were out in the press. So, Plaintiff's Exhibit 1267.
We are a few minutes behind Kirk's, yeah.
Just published that just for the witness.
And Bonnie, yeah,
Great,
we are.
thank you. This is an article published
excuse me.
on February 2nd, 2020, and the title is hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp trends after Amber Heard admits to hitting actor in audio clip. Do you see that?
I see that.
And if we can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1268. This one was published on February 3rd, 2020. It reads the title, Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording.
Yeah,
Do you see
that's
that?
when his lawyer leaked an edited tape.
That's an
See the
accusation.
title? Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny
That's-
Depp in recording. Do you
that's
see
an
that?
accusation.
I see the title.
Okay. If we could please go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1269.
I keep moving my fucking
This one
camera.
was published on March 17th, 2020. Amber Heard slammed door into Johnny Depp's head, reveals new audio. Do you see that?
Yeah, these are more of the PR plans.
Let's go to 1270. This one was published on March 31st, 2020. Amber Heard to be sacked from Jason Momoa's Aquaman after Johnny Depp's controversy, reports. Do you see that?
I do.
We can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1271. You see the title that says Johnny Depp says ex-wife Amber Heard sliced his finger off and it, quote, erupted like the Vesuvius?
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
That was quite a serious accusation, Margaret. I agree.
You can go to 1272.
But she also tried to say that her lawyers leaked a photo of her with bruises to People magazine
This one was
yesterday.
published on May 29th,
And Camilla
2020,
actually
and it
laughed
says,
when she
Amber
replied
Heard
to that.
confessed to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head, clocking him in the jaw. Do you see that?
I see that.
Going to 1275.
No worries, Bonnie.
This one was published on July 15th, 2020. Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells libel trial. Do you see that?
This was Adam Waldman as well.
It doesn't say Mr. Waldman. It actually says Kate James also says she often received abusive text messages from Johnny Depp's ex-wife, doesn't it?
I just know because he threw down the article.
Ms. Heard, isn't that what that
Mr.
says?
Waldman threw the newspaper
Heard,
at me afterwards.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question.
What
my
was your
question
question? I'm
is,
sorry.
The title of the article says, Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story, ex-aide tells libel trial. Kate James also says, Your Honor, she opened the door by saying it was Adam Waldman.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Let's go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1276.
Oh, like he could read. He read out loads
Amber
of headlines.
Heard
Why
admits
can't
to
she do it?
hitting fucking baby, Johnny Depp in
Oh.
court audio. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. I did. He was a fucking baby.
1277.
I shouldn't have.
Published July 28th, 2020. Amber Heard's sister thought she was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims a witness. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
I see that.
In 1278. Published on July 28th, 2020. Johnny Depp was the victim of abuser Amber Heard, London's High Court told. Do you see that?
I do see that.
He lost that, though. I don't know how he lost that case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take our lunch recess then. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our hour lunch recess at this point. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research. Okay, we'll see you in an hour.
All right. I think libel is pretty hard to prove in the UK. Yeah, I thought libel was harder to prove in America. Or defamation was harder to prove in America. Let me refresh that page. Oh, they're playing old stuff during the lunch break. Right, okay. Welcome, Krebster. I want to see the jury's face during all of this. Yeah, so I was watching Emily D. Baker, and she had somebody on who was like, I think his username is like the DUI guy or something. And I can't remember what his username is, but he was a lawyer, I think, and then he like got up really early and went to the courtroom and was watching, like, and he was talking to her about what the jury was looking like he was watching the outside research, the two words that define our time. I think I just need to change the width on that. There we go. So yeah. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah. And he said that he was saying what the jury were looking like, and he was like, they're not interested, they're disinterested, they're not listening, whatever. And basically he thought that they weren't buying. Amber said one guy was just like doodling. Danielle, you didn't really miss much, no. I guess you missed that they basically showed that she published it by tweeting it. And so, you know, if that is a strong enough argument, and it would be a strong enough argument for me if you had a couple of million followers and you tweeted out a link and said, I published this article. So they've proven then, as long as the jury are on the same page, they've proven that she published it, and they're trying to prove it's about Johnny. So yeah. Oh, hydrate. Thanks. I can't. How do I get? How do I get the channel points rewards to feckin' show up? Just doesn't seem to be working. The whole situation is just, welcome Vala, this whole situation is just sad, prime example of a toxic relationship on both ends. Yeah, I just don't agree with that summation of it. While I think that yes, the marriage was totally toxic from start to finish and like all that jazz, I think that you normally, if the abuser is a man, you don't ever say, oh, it was just equally toxic both ends. You never say that. And so the only fair thing to do is to apply that logic to it, even though the victim, even if you think the victim is a man. So, you know, because as I said, I think I said at the top of the stream, but like, I wouldn't consider someone reacting to abuse or self-defending or engaging in reactive violence as them also being an abuser. That just, oh, actually can take these off while we're on lunch break. I wouldn't consider any of that them themselves being an abuser if the victim was female, and therefore I have to apply that same logic even when the victim is male, even if like he's a bigger, stronger person, he or she, even any victim is a bigger, stronger person. Yeah, I need to apply the same logic, if that makes sense. has only got, Amber Heard's only got 200,000 followers on Twitter. It's a joke. Like, I had never heard of her before this. Like, I didn't even know she was married to Johnny Depp, like, until this came out. Then I was like, once she was accusing him, I was like, oh, who's she? She's an actress. She's married to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp It was like, that was literally my introduction to her. So it definitely raised her profile. But clearly not a huge amount. In terms of, like, measurable followers. So will the whole finger story get brought up? It was brought up, and she basically claimed in a different day of testifying that she went to sleep, that they had a big fight, and she remembered everything he did to her, but then she took sleeping pills, I think it was, and went to sleep and woke up and his finger was gone. So she's basically trying to imply he did it himself without saying it. She was like, I wasn't there for that, don't remember that. The same with the shit. She was like, oh, I left the dogs in the bed while we were getting ready and I didn't look at the bed before we left, and then we left, so was the dog. And she was like, did you not clean the bed before you left? No, didn't see it. Didn't check the bed before I left. Okay. Let's do a quick vote. Vote Team Amber or Team Johnny. Go for it. I'd seen Aquaman, but I didn't realise she was anyone special. I actually haven't seen Aquaman yet. Have you ever blamed Millie for something you've done? I don't think so. I definitely haven't blamed Millie for taking a shit in a bed. Even when I've done it. I own it when I shit in the bed. Doesn't dog poo and human poo look and smell a lot different? Yes. That's the whole thing. It's like the picture of it's like way too big for a teacup Yorkie. It's actually ridiculous. Go for it, Yabo. I am going to have dinner now soon, and then, so will I leave the stream running, or will I end it and start a new stream after when they come back after lunch? See, I don't have tag tonight, so tonight is the night I can stream late my time. But I can't do it tomorrow. So trying to maximize stream time today. Streaming Tuesdays. Can you start a new one? Yeah, I can absolutely start a new one, no problem, if that's easier for everyone. Yeah, that's handy out. It's handy out, doesn't leave my computer running, I suppose. Jeez, I wonder actually how my internet. I wonder if I like running the internet to be able to the roof. I never even thought of that. Oh well. Millie wants to go downstairs now. She's at the door. Because she heard Alex. Alex is cooking. She can hear him. No worries, GK. See you soon. I don't know if I'll be back because I want to pet the cat. That is totally fine, Bonnie. You don't have to come back. Wait, the internet there is metered. We just get max speeds and then unlimited. I think that we have unlimited, but there are fair use restrictions on unlimited. I don't really know. I'm lying. I'm lying if I tell you that I know. I don't really know. I'm not the bills man in this house. I've been picking up a lot of Irish phrases over the years of obsessively watching Try. Like what? By the way, did I tell you that I'm going to donate my hair? I think I did. Sorry, because I'm really excited about it. I'm going to keep growing it first, and then I'm going to donate it. It's getting red, though. Told you the auburn to go red. Alex is like, you're a brunette. I'm like, I'm not. I have auburn hair and I've been indoors for 2 years. So as soon as the sun comes out, it's going to go red, okay? Fair usage of 2 terabytes a month. Oh, that's not too bad in fairness. They won't charge you more, but they can slow you down. Yeah, okay. Love your hair texture, so cute. Thank you, Margaret. I normally finger curl it, but actually the last couple of days, for whatever reason, I've just been like, fuck it, just put sea salt spray into it and crunch it and just let it go as it goes. And I've actually been really enjoying doing that. I also got a sun spray to put into it that will hopefully make it go lighter quicker in the sun. UV spray. So I just put that in and a bit of sea salt spray. And yeah, enjoy it. I don't know how short it will end up being after the snip, but I kind of want it. This is a little too long for me. I think I would like it to be like here, like full time, because I think that's a lovely length, just above the boob. But I think that to donate it, I presume it has to be minimum 6 inches. I'm going to do a video on it, so I'm going to do all the research and get it done and all that, and I'm going to know when I start doing my research. But I'll probably have to go maybe up to shoulder length, depending on how long I grow it. If I can grow it another inch, then maybe I won't have to go above the shoulder, but I'll have to probably go it couldn't be 14 inches. Couldn't possibly be 14 inches, because then you'd have to grow it down to your fucking knees. But 7 inches sounds realistic. So I'll have to see. Although I have a friend who donated hers, and I don't think hers was much longer than mine is now. So yeah. Probably be just above my shoulders, and then it'll grow back quicker. It's fine. Quickly. Right, I'm going to go because Alex is downstairs making dinner. Millie's crying to go down and see Alex, and now she's barking out the window. And then we'll come back. Welcome, Abnormality. You're coming in just as we're finishing up. And we're dancing around the questions. Your hair looks good around the shoulders too, though. Thank you so much, Matty. Yeah, I'm going to eat my face off down here, and then come back energized for the second half of this trial. I will start a new stream for everybody. Start a new stream when we come back. And then we'll just stream for as long as we can take it. As long as we can take this nonsense. Thank you for joining me for the last 4 hours. It was very good fun, and I enjoyed watching that. I would have watched that anyway, so this is brilliant. It's just like a watch party of something I would have watched anyway. And yeah, I'll be back on after dinner, after their lunch break. Bye, guys.